Here we are back again with another very special episode. It is once again time for a new movie review. The last time we did one of these proper was Captain America: Brave New World, right?
Well, Sinners.
Oh yeah, and Minecraft is somewhere in there too.
Ugh. Yeah, you said proper.
I did say proper.
We actually didn't do the thing for that one.
We didn't, yeah. Cause fuck it, yeah. Minecraft was no spoiler-free section because what the fuck would that be? You know. But yeah, you are right. We did do that for Sinners, and Sinners was tremendous.
Yeah, we loved it. Check out our review. And actually, check out the movie, and then check out our review.
Yep.
Oh, you left the pen out. Well, anyway, it's time for a reading of the rules, folks. So if this is your first time with us, then I just want to let you know that the first half of this review will be spoiler-free. We are going to talk about the characters, the music. We'll be very, very vague about the plot. We won't spoil anything for you. And then we're going to have a brief period where we're going to bullshit more because we will have already bullshitted plenty by then. And we will have plenty ample warning. You don't have to worry about it. And then we will move over into the full tilt spoiler section where we will spoil all of the things. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you might want to leave before that point. Unless you just don't care, in which case, by all means.
So with that being said, proper introductions are also in order. So homies one and all, allow me to welcome you all to a very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. That's Junior, but my name is Quentin. And as always, I am here with the world's greatest co-host. It is actually in this contract, I have to say that every episode, I'm talking about the homie Caleb.
That's right. I actually think for 2026, I'm going to get it changed to like the co-host without limits.
See, I'm going to fight you on that.
Because from where I've always sat, you have plenty of limits.
Oh, wow.
Well, I already talked to Kevin about it, and he's agreed that he will talk to the committee on my behalf. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you know.
Isn't he on the committee now?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But you don't know who all's on the committee.
Oh, I have a very intimate knowledge about the committee. I see their silhouettes whenever I go to meet them. They're opening like a balcony and I see their silhouettes.
Is this like at the TVA when
yeah
they just have like the fake? Yeah, okay.
Very much
That
so.
means that it could be anybody.
No.
It could be.
And besides Caleb here, we also have, as you guys can clearly see, the homie Oz once again returning.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Rocking a very sexy Superhero Homies t-shirt, which you guys can get at the merch store on the link below. So be sure to go ahead and do that. Get your Superhero Homie merch, but also rocking Superhero Homie merch.
I don't see the link.
You don't see it? No. It was right there.
Oh, you don't see it? No. Oh shit, bro! You should probably go to the doctor.
I'll show you some magic.
I do have a
boom. There it goes again.
Fuck, I missed it again.
I
do have an eye appointment.
Oh, okay, that explains it.
It's in like 2 months though.
When you see this recording pop up again at the 3-minute and 19-second mark, you will know. You'll see it then. Trust me. I am here with the homie Dylan also. Mark that down. It's 3 minutes and 18 seconds.
I feel like I want, I want like a scene at some point after we're all dead where someone finds this notebook and tries to decipher what the fuck. What the fuck it is.
We get a post-credit scene for the Superhero Homies?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like way in the future. Somebody finds this in like a fucking temple or something, and they try to figure out what the fuck this ancient script is.
Oh, that would be phenomenal because the first thing they're going to see is that if it's lost, it goes to Superhero Homie Q, and as a reward, you get this amount of money.
Well, after inflation, that's not by then. It's not going to even be much.
Or
man, I can get a stick of gum with this.
Tree Fitty.
Oh well, Tree Fitty will still be worth a lot.
Yeah,
but that other amount by then, inflation and shit. Yeah, that's gonna be like a Happy Meal tops. Like there's gonna be another scene later on where like the main evil guy comes in there because he's gonna have his scientists trying to decipher this shit. He's gonna be like, "Have you found anything?" And I don't know why he's Romanian, but and then he's gonna be like, "Yeah, apparently like a Madam Web movie came out back in like 2023 or whatever, and it really sucked.
Yeah, it really fucked with whoever
wrote this."
Oh shit! Yeah, they'll be treated to some bullshit here. Like the first page is about DC fandom when we had hope for that version of DC movies. Wonder Woman 84, Gotham Knights, The Suicide Squad was good. Snyder Cut was good. Black Adam, Flashpoint, the Suicide Squad video game, the Batman teaser, and then page 2 is about Batman and Robin, like the 1997 movie. So like, and then page 3 is about the Marvel's Avengers game. This book was off to a rough start.
It had a rough time. I'm surprised it didn't just like find a way to burn itself.
Your handwriting is only slightly better than mine.
As long as I can read it, that's the only thing I.
That's what I say too.
Yeah.
Smith, my eyes only. Well, guys, I assume that you all clicked on this link because you wanted to hear about the Thunderbolts. Well, you're in luck because we may or may not discuss some Thunderbolts here tonight.
Yeah, we have seen the movie.
We have.
Mm-hmm. It was a movie of all time.
Thunderbolts.
It's gonna be one of those. I say.
And if you've seen the marketing for this movie, you know that it's actually the real title is Thunderbolts asterisk, as we have talked about before.
Caleb would not let us forget.
Ever.
It is called Thunderbolts asterisk.
As a matter of fact, there is that part of the movie where he's like Thunderbolts, and I just lean over to him and I'm like asterisk.
I find it interesting. You both say that word differently.
What?
Asterisk.
Oh,
You say asterisk. You say asterisk. I can't even say it the way you do.
okay.
All right. Well,
It just messed with me a little bit.
Thank you for revealing your deficiency. We'll move on.
I don't think this is where I revealed that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Just talking about all this Thunderbolts though. Like I feel like I need some Wheaties though.
There's times where the marketing really fucking works, and there's a couple of examples of that here. I think so.
I hate weed.
The mildest of spoilers, but that's along the lines of like Stranger Things with fucking Coke, you know.
Well, I definitely don't think the Wheaties box is a spoiler. Like, they have a life-size fucking Thunderbolts Wheatie box in, like, every major theater on the planet.
And that's going to be my birthday gift for Ace. I'm going to just go up there and steal it and just put it in the studio.
I mean, if you ask them, they might just give it to you.
Yeah.
We have the actual cat poster from
I have a mission.
Infinity War. Okay. All right.
Yeah, a lot of the times they will just give you that shit.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
No, it's not. It's very necessary.
Well, that being said, what do we want to talk about first here? We want to talk about the cast?
Let's do that. Let's spit on this cast here.
Well, the main character, I'd say, of this movie is probably...
Taskmaster.
No, I was gonna say Florence Pugh's Yelena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, would be the main character
Okay.
here.
Wait, Taskmaster was in this movie?
Don't do that. Yelena. The first thing that actually came to my mind, which is such a weird, obscure kind of nerd detail, but I could be wrong. I think this was the first time they actually said her last name, because her name is Yelena Belova.
Yeah,
But they've never said that before. I assume because it fucked with like their own MCU canon. Because how could her last name be Belova, but Natasha's last name is Romanoff?
yeah. I thought that they had said it in Hawkeye, but it's been a long time since I watched that or Black Widow, and I probably won't ever watch Black Widow again. Unless, 30 years from now on the throwback, the war has been reignited.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm bringing out Black Widow.
I'll be like, oh, my God, please.
Well, since you like spiders so much, I'm bringing out Madam Web.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone just brings a different Fox Spider-Verse movie.
Jeez. I really like Yelena in this, though. I think this might be out of her 3 performances as Yelena. This might be her best for me. I think she had the most screen time that she's ever had as this character, the most to do, and she also probably had maybe the most growth. She had a lot of growth, I know, in Black Widow, but a lot of that was kind of backloaded. But no, here I thought that she was very well handled. I mean, yeah, she was good.
I think that this is gonna Echo for quite a few of these characters. Echo is not in the movie.
Is a character named Echo?
Yeah. It's the show that has Daredevil in it for about a second and a half. But if you watch the trailer, it's like all Daredevil and Kingpin. But anyway, they are also not in this. But quite a few of these characters, like Marvel can't really depend on the fact that you know much about them. And so Yelena isn't really a prime example of that, but to a degree she is. Like, you could be forgiven if you were just a mega casual, you haven't seen any of the Disney Plus stuff, and you don't remember Black Widow, or you tried to erase it from your brain.
Which I did.
Yeah. So they kind of have to reintroduce these characters to the general audience in this movie without that feeling heavy-handed. And that is tough to do, but I think that they, for the most part, really pulled that off. I loved her in this movie. She's an incredible actress, though, so that it wasn't really much of a stretch that, you know, she was gonna do really well in this.
And I definitely agree. Like, and again, I didn't. I watched Black Widow, and honestly, I can't remember two shits about it, other than I kind of laughed when David Harbour was on the screen. But that was about it. I do remember. Okay, it was meh, and it was kind of pointless after Endgame, which we kind of briefly talked about off mic. But I mean, I agree. Like, Yelena was amazing in this. I felt she, like you said, had some solid growth in this, and yeah, definitely a strong lead.
Going third is terrible because you've said just all the things that can be said pretty much.
You're fourth.
Have you said the thing on this?
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Whoops.
You can start on the next one.
You didn't bring up my shirt, so
I did.
He did.
He did.
Wow.
Are you okay?
probably not.
I think this movie really fucked with him.
I think this movie did really fuck with you.
It might have.
You're pulling a Brendan over there, bro. Like,
Oh, whoa.
No. Dilly could phone in, literally, like call from his house and still.
No, this movie did actually mess with me a fair bit for different reasons. But I vaguely remember her from Black Widow. Like, I'm pretty sure. I know I've watched it once. I think I've watched it like 1.5 times because I was like, oh, I haven't seen most of this. I saw like an episode, realized I watched half of it, and got sidetracked. I definitely like her character in this one a lot more. Because I really don't remember most of, ironically, with what I just said. She just didn't stick in my brain very well in that one.
I definitely agree with that.
Well, Black Widow, it was just an extended Fast and the Furious meme. They say family about 75 times during that. So, but you did mention, jumping around a little bit here, but you did mention David Harbour's Red Guardian, and I actually had a very opposite reaction in this movie that I did from Black Widow, because in Black Widow, for me, he was, and before I say this, I really like David Harbour I think he's a good person, and I really like him in pretty much everything he's in. Every moment he was on screen in Black Widow for me was cringe as fuck for the most part. I liked when he made up bullshit about how he fought Steve Rogers, but for the most part, like, he was just cringe. In this movie, however, he like legitimately, like, he felt more like a character,
And an afterthought.
and also like
relief.
I liked the serious moments with him. I think he has one of the best lines in the movie, like best like dramatic lines. Mm-hmm. And I also really like some of his humor had me like belly laughing here.
Oh yeah, like and again, we all know that I'm a huge Stranger Things nerd, and so like I'm over here like fuck. I will always see Hopper, but at the same time, Russian Hopper super soldier is fucking amazing. And like. I made this comparison in the car on the way over here. He's like if Crow, your D&D character, turned into a superhero and actually has a moral compass.
But my question is, does he really have a moral compass, or does he just kind of want to be good because he knows the populace will like him more for it?
I mean, I mean, and also I've made the same distinction that this group is kind of like our morally ambiguous campaign. They're all assholes and kind of like killers. So,
well, I feel like that fits most D&D parties.
Yes, but y'all are pretty murderous.
We haven't had any player takeouts yet.
The main character got killed in the one.
He's fine.
In the one D&D campaign, but I mean, there is a moment in this movie where it very much feels like the DM is bringing the characters together.
A little bit. Yeah.
We can talk more about that in the spoiler section, but Ace, what? You quiet over there?
I'm mostly with you guys. I think that David Harbour is a tremendous actor. In Black Widow, I didn't care for his character either, and I also didn't care for him here either. Didn't like him here either. Oh, he's just. I mean, it's just a caricature. That's all he is. It's
but isn't that kind of the
he's a cartoon character amidst other actual characters, and so his one dimension doesn't blend in well for me when I see him with any of the other characters, even Ghost. And I'm like, this is still just the same shtick, the same shit. But I mean, and then like they do try to put like the serious moments with him in there. The problem is for me, they're not really earned. The character didn't really earn those moments, and so they just feel disingenuous. And then guess what? 2 seconds later, another joke. And by joke, I mean he just says something really loud in his Russian accent. That's the Red Guardian, folks.
Man, yeah, hard to disagree on that.
Yeah, I'm with Caleb.
I think there's whole scenes in this movie that David Harbour lifts. Like, I can't talk any specifics right now, but there's at least one scene I can say doesn't work without him, like without his acting chops. I thought he was night and day from Black Widow for me in this.
Nah, I think didn't do it for me.
Is that though because he is very far off from like the comic portrayal?
That's the thing. Like I don't give a shit about the comic version.
Okay.
It's just Super Soldier variant number 9,800.
So he's comic accurate then.
But like where they take a left turn at, it's like I mean I get it. Like Marvel does the thing. If no one knows about a character, then they switch it up completely. The problem is it's just not interesting to me. It's just another one-note comedic character. And it would be fine if this were a comedy movie. But do you want to do comedy, or are you trying to have a serious message? And this is more of like an issue with Marvel as a whole, more or less. Where like they have a hard time kind of configuring if they want to be comedy, if they want to be something else. And then they kind of have a hard time with the tone shift. It's weird for me.
Well, Dylan, you didn't want to go last, so
I went last again.
I know. Yeah, but you can kick off Bucky for us.
I was going to say something on this one actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I actually am kind of in between your guys' views on that. Whereas you guys were like, no, he was great, and you were like, he was trash. I definitely liked him more in this one, and I think there were a good few scenes that were really nice. I'm curious what your one scene is, but there were still quite a few scenes where it felt forced and not just in like a hee-hee way. Just like it didn't always land for me. But yeah, that was it.
Wheaties box.
Jesus Christ.
I guess I can try to start off Bucky.
Yeah. Bucky's in this movie, folks. We can talk about it.
Yeah.
So, I am probably... Well, actually, I don't know if I'm the one at the table that knows the least about comics or not. I don't know how much you know about comics.
Depends on the...
Comic?
Depends on the comic, yeah.
I'm just going to say I'm the one that knows the least. It's the safer bet. So, I don't know if any of the comics Yeah, we know his position from one of the other movies, so I can say that part, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. His, like, senator or governor?
Congressman?
One of them?
I think he's like junior congressman or something like that.
I got the idea that he's like a House of Representatives. I don't think he's a senator.
Well, a government person.
A congressman.
Government.
I don't know if he does that in any of the comics or not.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, well, I always kind of questioned that, and even in the other ones. Sorry, this is just me kind of catching up on that, because I always thought it was a little weird that he just randomly got turned into a congressman. But aside from him being, I guess, the main good person that I guess you need in a squad of bad guys, I guess, because Suicide Squad showed us that. He's like a good person.
I mean, if he's the hero here, I mean, of course he could get elected to Congress. He's like 90.
That's true, yeah.
He was an assassin.
I don't know if that part's that used.
No,
or
he
not.
was 90 back when Avengers 1 came out.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's like 100 now.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure what he did for this movie other than just being him, and like, I guess I'm not really sure why he was added other than to be like, oh yeah, we have this guy too.
It did feel that way, for real. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love Winter Soldier, and
Same.
like everything that he shows up in, I'm here for. However, it really did just feel like, oh, we're gonna put the Winter Soldier in here just because.
It was like, and I said this even before the movie came out, like, they need the star power. And that's not a story-driven reason as to why he's here. It's just like an executive, we need to make sure people come watch this goddamn movie. What's Winter Soldier doing? But no, I thought that he was good here. He's never in live action delivered a bad performance as Bucky Barnes.
I love how you have to put that in there.
Yeah, like me and Dylan have the same response. Like, what?
Sebastian Stan, if you go to What If Season 1,
Oh, no.
Sebastian Stan's voice acting is god fucking awful.
Okay.
All right, then.
It's a little bit like this, guys, so
Yeah, Steve, we got to stop him.
we have to stop hiding, Steve. Come on, let's go.
So he was strong armed into that pretty hard.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I think maybe he just got tired of people saying he looked like fucking 25-year-old Mark Hamill so bad that he was like, well, Mark Hamill is a great voice actor, so I'm going to be the opposite of that.
Okay. I'm a bit of a stretch, but okay.
It fits, though.
Yeah.
No, Bucky was really good here, but again, Bucky is good in just about everything you see him in. But I do have to agree, like, by the time this movie ended, it was great to see him here. But especially when you consider the characters that we have already, do we really need another super strong, really
Super soldier serum having individual. Yeah.
skilled fighting assassin type? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great to have him here. Maybe the better thing would have been to give him like a meteor role in Cap 4, and I don't know, give some more time in this movie to like Ghost or Taskmaster,
Yeah, I have no idea who the fuck Ghost is still.
I don't know who Taskmaster is, so it's okay.
Well, Ghost has 2,000% more screen time than she did in her own movie in this, but to go back to Bucky though, I agree to an extent with what you guys are saying. Like, yeah, I mean, there are things that don't work if there isn't. Like, Bucky is very closely associated with. I mean, honestly, he's probably the best thing they have that's close to like an Avenger other than Sam Wilson, right? And so I think having him in this movie is just like there is at least a hero, whereas all these other people are like, somewhere
Black Ops
on
agents.
somewhere from like on the spectrum of like secret agent to like just straight up villain. So I understand that. Also, I liked with Bucky, we don't need any backstory on him. We have, as a matter of fact, I believe this is like his, what was it, 10th appearance?
I believe
it's like his 10th or 11th appearance. So like we have a ton of Bucky Barnes. Like we know like basically his whole fucking life story, right? So unlike some of these other characters that needed a lot of that, he doesn't, right? So they can just kind of put him there. The parts of him that I enjoy the most in this movie is like seeing him interact with these people we've never seen him interact before. I like seeing him interact with Yelena or Red Guardian or those type of things, and that's what was fun with him in this.
I'm not disagreeing that it wasn't fun and good to see him, man. Like but like I'm with Dylan here, where it's like it really was, just kind of here's Bucky. He's going to be a part of the Thunderbolts with no real reason why.
I also say that I don't have like a better option. I was just saying like that's the main thing that stuck with me with him. I did like him in this, of course. Winter Soldier's cool as hell. It's just felt like he was kind of just there. And he did have a few moments where he was, interacting well with the others, but maybe part of that's also because I don't know most of these characters that well.
It's like for me, Bucky, he may not have like plot-wise added a whole lot to the movie, but he also didn't take anything away because who doesn't want to see Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
So for me, it's just kind of one of those things.
Yeah. Agreed.
Who else we got? John Walker.
Oh,
Yeah. God. I forgot how much of a douchebag he is.
I love that character. I loved him in Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I really like him here.
He's got a punchable face.
Especially when he wears the hat.
The helmet.
The hat.
I said hat intentionally.
Like
we'll get there.
Do you like that? Have you guys seen Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, that first time that they bring him out and he's got the cap suit on, the rage that it just elicited from everyone collectively was incredible. I mean, in wrestling, they'll be like, no, you have to be a heel because you just have a face that people just want to punch. And, like...
Heel means bad guy.
Yeah, most people know that.
Well, there might be some people like me out there that have to learn that.
Yeah, they can fucking Google it. I'm not here to educate you. I'm here to give you my opinion.
You guys did educate me.
So where was I? Oh, John Walker. Yeah. So he's just a douchebag, man, and I loved him here. Like I just thought he is just the douchiest, lamest fucking guy. And you just know that out of all these people, you really would not want to hang out with this motherfucker for any amount of time.
Like, for real. Like, oh, God. Like, and again, the Falcon Winter Soldier stuff, like, I wanted him dead somehow. Like, I didn't want him to live. And, like, but, like, his performance here, very much on par. And I've had the same feelings. I just want him not to be around. So he got the response he wanted out of me with his performance.
Every time I see him, I think, did he get even more douchey?
Yeah.
And I don't think he did. I think he's constant about it, but every time I forget about it just enough for me to be like, God, did he turn it up more?
Yeah, and like that's the thing about old John Walker here, and I just really appreciate that about this character. And I'm so thankful that they avoided a pitfall that I thought for sure they were going to fall into, which is he talks a lot of shit and then just never backs it up. And I would have hated that. I would have hated that.
Also, what a terrible character to do that with.
Yeah.
It works so much better for him to be effective and you still hate it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much more dynamic there. Whereas like if they went the easy route and just made him incompetent, then it oh my God, it would be awful.
I mean, they make him dumb.
It would be Red Guardian and Black Widow.
He's not dumb though. He's arrogant.
That's fair.
Like he's
very boastful.
He's arrogant to the point where, like, when he's riling off his fucking accomplishments, he thinks the other characters are going to be like, okay, well, that is really cool, but no one is.
And I do like the fact that they actually kind of poke fun at that. It's like, oh great, you've been in the military. We know.
Yeah.
I love that scene so much.
Ghost.
I got nothing. I don't know who the fuck this is.
Well,
that couldn't.
I know that part.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, so to explain, Ghost has not been seen since the 2018 Ant-Man 2 movie. And if you watch that movie, you might still miss her.
I did watch that movie, and I did miss her.
Yeah, she's the villain of that movie, but yeah, she's. I believe that when you guys ranked all the MCU villains, she was at the very bottom.
Ironically, her and Taskmaster were fighting, man.
And Yellow Jacket.
And Yellow Jacket, yep. And Icarus.
Yeah.
And it was a bunch of them fighting for that.
I think I'd rather hang out with Taskmaster for an afternoon than John Walker. Sorry.
I don't know if I'd rather hang out with Ghost, though. The whole... I thought Ghost was cool here. Like, Ghost is like the only person on the team that has like a superpower necessarily. Mm-hmm. And they used it very well here, I think.
At least at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
The bar was so low.
Right, yeah.
What they had, comparatively speaking.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Listen, please, Disney, hear me. I do not need a Ghost Disney Plus show.
It's too late. They're already greenlit.
Yeah. It's greenlit, bitches. No, but I would not be opposed to seeing more of the character. I thought that she was fine here, which is about 47 levels above what I thought before. So,
like, I want to say I saw Ant-Man 2. I can't remember shit from it.
Just go home and say Quantum to yourself about 700 times.
Right. Okay, now that kind of sparked a little. But I don't remember Ghost from that.
Yeah,
she in it.
It's such an odd choice to bring this character back, but I mean...
But, like, so she's supposed to be this villain in Ant-Man 2,
yep.
And while, yes, she is an assassin, honestly, I feel like she's, like, immediately had remorse, and that kind of turned me off a little bit. Like, like, yeah, like, I know she, no spoilers, but she does a certain thing at the very beginning that makes her bad, but at the same time, like, she immediately felt remorse for, another character we're going to talk about, Bob. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just not buying it. Not saying that she wasn't great throughout the rest of the movie. I did, like, with y'all saying that she was a villain, I don't get villain from her.
Well, even in Ant-Man 2, what the movie tries to do in Ant-Man 2 is it portrays as one of those sympathetic villains, one of those I have to do this because if I don't. So and she this isn't a spoiler because they do talk about this in Ant-Man 2, but like the way that it is in the movies is that she is like biomechanically linked to that suit.
Oh, okay.
And Lawrence Fishburne's character, Bill Foster, the Giant Man, he was trying to help her find a way to stabilize, basically. And that involved stealing like PIM particles and shit like that. So
okay.
So don't get me wrong. I think that the sympathetic villain approach is way overplayed, and in that case, it was extremely lazy. But it is what she was.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So she was never like just a straight up like villain per se. Yeah, mustache twirling.
Yeah, she didn't have a mustache. It'd be a little weird if she did, like, especially when that's thick enough to twist and twirl.
I'll be honest, she probably would have been better if she had just been a expositing mustache twirling villain. I'll get you now, Ant-Man. I'd be like, well, okay.
Why'd you go Seth Rollins on us for a second?
He's so vaudevillain. So.
Yeah, and over the top.
Ironically, Ghost is actually an Ant-Man villain. I mean, an Iron Man villain in the comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a dude, and he's just trying to steal some Tony Stark tech. I know, shocker, it's never been done before.
Yeah,
but yeah.
What?
In the MCU, she's not even like important enough to meet Tony Stark. She's probably never met Robert Downey Jr. at all.
Well, she about to.
Oh yeah,
she about to.
Yeah. Yeah, a different kind.
I will say before we move on from Ghost, before we start responding about her, sorry, that was a bad joke.
No, I got it.
But I actually liked the character.
I just got it.
I don't think we deserved that. I did like her character being here. I think it kind of like fit the generic mold, but not like in a bad way. She added some good little quips here and there, tended to get the job done. There's one specific thing. There's one specific scene after the spoiler part that I'm going to complain about with her involved, but and I told Oz about that earlier. But I thought she was cool.
Oh yeah, definitely a cool superpower. Like, I know it's kind of sad, but it's still pretty dope.
I'm also this is separate. I'm a little tired of the number of powers that are just stopped by sound, though.
With hers, it does make sense.
I didn't say that didn't make sense.
Okay.
It's just showing up a lot, and I'm just like, oh, it's sound again. Okay.
Well, the Sonic thing is a good way to fuck up superheroes in general.
I mean, I get it.
Because it fucks with your equilibrium.
Yeah, it's like saying that you're tired of lasers in Star Wars.
I'm a little tired of lasers too.
Okay,
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Also, those aren't lasers. That's like gas. That's never mind.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, actually, one of the things that kind of I watched episode 3 in the theater recently, and when they show the battle at the beginning, they have the big cannons on the ship, and they're shooting lasers at each other, but the canisters, they fire the cannon and like a canister pops out. And I was like,
It's a thermal clip, dog. You play Mass Effect.
Yeah, but it's man, that's a shitty thermal. It's a one shot thermal clip.
I mean, it's a high caliber blast.
I get it, man. I was just like,
I think if it was attached to a ship like that, they could just have like a tank and
right?
yeah, they just have like
shit
a
in.
cooling system that ran to all the. You know what? Okay, you're in the void of space. It seems like dissipating heat would not.
Yeah, just,
all right,
whatever.
All right, I know that this is a nerd podcast, but this got way too fucking nerdy there.
It's like when I was
okay.
messing with James. In
That's the line. That's the line we crossed.
Oh, yeah.
Thermodynamics in space is the line.
In reference to fucking Star Wars, yeah.
What better heat sink? I mean, but I mean, I was messing with James a little bit in the previews for we're watching this one with the Karate Kid. I was just like, all right, so that's this fighting style, but it's actually this mixed with this, just mostly to mess with them.
Who else? Can we even talk about Bob in the spoiler-free section, or should we just wait?
I don't think so.
I mean, I
can give my initial thought. Like the first time I see this guy.
I mean, people know who Bob is, right?
They don't say it in the trailer.
I didn't know who the fuck that was.
In that case, then I've been spoiling the shit out of him for months.
Oh shit! I mean, like honestly, you kind of do that anyway. So like, but like my initial thoughts were like, and again for this whole movie was like Marvel's Suicide Squad. So I immediately thought, is Milton still with us? that was my initial thought.
Milton?
So I mean, clearly I was wrong, but
So, funny enough, when I first saw him pop up, for the brief moment, and I'm going to blame my eyes for this, I thought for a second, what's that in Hisoka, the bad guy actor, like the main dude that's like
Hayden Christensen,
I don't know names.
Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker.
No.
Okay.
Ahsoka villain, the blue guy,
Blue guy.
Thrawn. He's blue.
No. Maybe I'm saying the wrong
Balin
name.
Skull.
Oh no, Acolyte. Sorry, Acolyte.
Oh,
okay.
I was like,
I said the wrong name on that one.
He was
Yeah.
at Dragon Con.
yeah, come here.
For a brief
I'm
moment,
right here.
he wants you closer.
No, he has to go to bed, not you.
But no, for like a brief moment, whenever his hair was like in front of his face a little bit, I was like, wait a second, is that fucking him?
Yeah, Manny Jacinto is that guy's name. he really wants to fight Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, that was. He kept saying that at Dragon Con.
Yeah, a lot.
All right, man.
I was like, not Anakin? Like, you just want to fight Hayden Christensen? Okay. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know how much we want to say about Bob then in that case. For those of you who listen to the podcast regularly,
Oops.
Need to go back and edit some spoiler into a few things.
yeah.
fuck all that. Hey, look.
So, Bobbert was played by Lewis Pullman.
The son of Bill Pullman.
Yeah, and I actually, I thought he did a good job.
He looks kind of familiar though, and I don't know if I've seen him in anything else. Is he in anything else?
I don't know.
Like the actor?
Yeah.
Well, he does kind of look like his dad a little bit.
Yeah, that's why.
He was in the 2024 Salem's Lot. He was in Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Maybe I saw him out of a clip from that.
Avengers Doomsday. You seen that?
Hey, it was,
Matter of fact.
Could have been better.
He was in an Amazon original called Press Play.
Mm-mm.
He was in The Line. None of this is screaming like stuff that Dilly has seen.
No, it might have just been from a clip from the Maverick that I've seen.
Yeah.
Maverick, sorry, not the Maverick. Wait, is it? I don't know.
Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bob here. Well, I do have some issues. You know what I mean? Because and again, I think that most of you guys already know who this is. You're on the up and up, and what you're looking for.
It's okay if you don't.
It's okay if you don't. But what you're looking for, I'm going to say there's not a whole lot in this of that. And I was really left wanting. I got one scene with his character, and that really started to showcase just how much he could outclass potentially other people, and then after that, it just kind of becomes its own thing for the plot. But in terms of his performance, though, I thought he did good with what he had. He really did a good job of playing like an aloof type character. I really wish we had gotten more of who he is in this, but hey, that one scene was really cool.
I'll agree with that. Like I do feel like his, like build up to transformation to end was very rushed. Like I didn't think it was like to a point where it hurt the story for me, but at the same time, like I would have definitely liked to know a lot more.
Yeah.
I thought the opposite. I thought he was fantastic here. I thought that while it's not the depth that we are expecting from the comics counterpart, I thought it was adapted well for the screen. We're gonna get more of this character, so I thought that I thought it was great. I mean, I don't think that I'm not saying that there's not certain things they could have done better. We just can't talk about them in this half, but
right, yeah.
But no, as far as the performance, I thought, thumbs up.
Oh yeah.
For the performance.
Yeah, my issue isn't with his performance; is with his character and what they, and really what they end up doing with it. It's just surface level type shit.
I actually do think that this character will be a draw for the MCU.
I mean, yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hopefully, he gets more meaningful screen time.
Yeah.
What about you, Dylan?
I liked this character a lot for an entirely different reason. That's it, yeah.
Okay. Yes, man.
At least in this section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something that I definitely noticed about this movie, I think we're done with the main cast here, right?
Yep.
The pacing, I thought, was quite good. I don't think this movie has like a definitive low point. I think that while there are a few things where, it's like there might be some tropey ways to get from point A to point B in a few cases. Nothing that was like egregious. And I thought the movie flowed really well. I never caught myself like bored or anything like that. I really just was caught up in it the whole time. I think the way that they flow between set pieces and things like that was phenomenal.
Like, so I wasn't on the Captain America Brave New World review, but I did go see that movie with you guys, and I've found myself falling asleep a few times. Granted, I do wake up pretty early in the morning, but with this movie, with Thunderbolts, I was good. Like, I mean, granted, yeah, I agree. There were definitely some tropes that, you know, may have been a little overused, but at the same time, it still kept my attention the whole time. And I enjoyed myself. So I definitely agree with you. The pacing was great.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems with the pacing here. And I think maybe in some places, maybe I do have a little bit of an issue with the pacing. But it's only in relation to the story, if I'm being honest. And in terms of like how the movie progresses, yeah, I didn't really have that big of a problem with the pacing here. I did think that it moved along at a pretty brisk pace. Like, we're going places here. I just wish that we were going to different places sometimes.
I kind of agree that the pacing was overall pretty good. I didn't even really think about pacing for only one point got me. And without spoiling, the scene where they're standing in the street. That one, I feel like, went a smidge long. I understood pretty soon afterwards why. But for that moment, I was like, man, we're still standing here. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was the only real pacing issue I felt.
Yeah. There is one part of the movie, can't talk about in this half, that I actually wish was longer.
I'm intrigued to wonder which one.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, actually, we forgot to talk about Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Okay.
So I'm going to say this right off the bat. I cannot see this woman without thinking Elaine Bennis from Seinfeld, so I cannot take her seriously in anything else. Just saying.
I think that's by design, though.
As you kind of explained that to me in the car on the way over here, I get it, but I can't unsee it.
I don't think that in any of her appearances in the MCU, they've ever intended for her to feel menacing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And which, if she did feel menacing, this movie doesn't work. I can't explain that to you right now, but I will later.
Yeah.
For reasons that I cannot say here, I don't... It's not that I don't like her character. There are certain spots about her character that I can only ask in the next section to clarify on. But there were certain things that the character initially, the vibe they gave off, and then the way they tried to back that up didn't match for me very well, and it irked me a little. But yeah,
She is cringy.
it's not that.
But I'm saying though, she's intentionally cringy. Mm-hmm. She's like when you were in like elementary school, right? Mm-hmm. Your teacher wouldn't be there, and you'd be wondering who the substitute was going to be. Sure. And there's that one substitute teacher that was just a complete bitch, and you knew if you got her, your day was ruined. That's her.
You know what? I can agree. Like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cringy. Thinks their own jokes are funny. They weren't. You know that. Like,
I don't remember most of elementary school.
That's fair. That tracks actually.
No, I thought she was pretty good here. Like you guys said, she was never meant to come off as a menacing type of character. But like the way that she does her performance here, I had no real issues with it. I don't know how much I understand her plans.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
So I will say this. I agree with that, but also I feel like I'm desensitized to it at this point because of how many times you see this like the villain of a thing, and they're just like, oh no, that's dumb.
Well, and on top of that, like I did find myself towards the end giving her too much credit, and then quickly realizing that's probably wrong.
Yeah, like no spoilers, but like by the time you get to the end of the movie, you realize that She really is no Nick Fury. She's been skating by the skin of her teeth.
The support team's real strong on this one.
Are you guys saying that the American public would elect people who are incompetent?
I think that's a ridiculous notion.
Look
Look at our current look at our current administration.
Yeah. This character's totally not believable. Hey, random though, I fucking love Wendell Pierce, and I was really glad that they gave him a role in this.
Same.
He's the congressman that's trying to stop her.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
While we're sort of on characters, her main enforcer guy, the random,
The True Blood Sheriff.
Yeah,
is that who that was?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not Terry. God damn it, Belfleur. But like, I cannot remember
Andy Belfleur.
Andy Belfleur.
And Belfleur.
That answers the thing I was gonna be on. I was like, I know I've seen him somewhere.
Yeah.
It was bugging me every
I heard
time
his
he was
voice.
on
When I heard
scene.
his voice first, that's was like, son of a bitch.
He's actually in a couple things.
But it was definitely True Blood that I
yeah.
By the way, IMDb was way off on so many of these assumptions.
They just made some guesses.
Yeah, they were just like, I'm sure they'll be in it. I'm sure they will be.
Not the first time they did that.
You think they started to do that on purpose?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he was in The Wire as well. Also with Wendell Pierce. Of course, he's in True Blood. He's actually in the Stephen Amell pro wrestling show Heels.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
And Hill is a bad guy.
I was gonna jokingly ask how heel was spelled in that one.
All right, let's see. What you guys think about the action that we got here? We'll go ahead and couple this with the CG as well.
I thought this was the best looking Marvel movie in a long fucking time. I never really thought, like, the CG never took me out of it. Mm-hmm. There's a couple shots that weren't like the best, but they aren't like, people aren't going to be replaying them. Like, look at this terrible shit. Mm-hmm. Like,
They're not gonna see a mouth inside of a mouth.
inside, yeah, double mouth, second mouth.
No second mouth.
And I actually thought that the majority of the action was quite a breath of fresh air. Like, we had been concerned for a long time of like, hey, and they even addressed this in the movie. So we all just punch and shoot, like, and it's very difficult when you have a main cast that just punches and shoots for the most part, and then one that can temporarily phase around. And to keep that fresh for 2 hours, and I thought that they did quite a good job of that.
Oh yeah, and like even though they kind of stuck to their formula, which always works, like the big group fight scenes where they're basically one panning the whole thing, and like you're just seeing different aspects of the fight just kind of happen. I felt that was very well done, and granted there were nothing like fully stood out. Like, oh my god, this was amazing, but like it was very solid for me, and I enjoyed pretty much every fight scene.
There was one fight scene in particular that did stand out to me. Can't say it here. I think you know which one I mean.
I think it's what I was referring
I
to
believe so
earlier.
too. It was a very good scene.
Yeah.
I mean, it was boring. But no, I at no point, because occasionally, if choreography's like not that great during the middle of a fight scene, I'll be like, all right, well, yeah, this is happening still. But that never really hit. But I do agree that other than that one scene, at no point was I like, oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like
It was two for me. One very early in the movie, and then the one you guys are talking about.
Yeah, there was.
Okay, I do take that back. There are two for me as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed the fight scenes that we got here. One that is more towards the beginning of the movie I thought that was pretty darn nifty there. It did a good job. It did what it was supposed to do, which is showcase everybody's skills and abilities.
Oh yeah.
And I also really enjoyed the scene. Again, not really a spoiler. The scene when Bucky shows up and he has to remind you why he's the motherfucking man.
Yeah,
that is true. And I like
scene is
how
great.
well, yeah, we can't really go into it, but like there was this moment where, Yelena does something, and I'm like, did they just OP her for whatever reason? It's like, nope, it's Bucky.
Yeah. I actually
was good.
That was good.
I love the way she played that because it happens and she's like, I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't think that should have happened. But
I'll say that this movie is kind of paralleling to that. This movie had a few random scenes where actors in the movie reacted like I did in the scene.
yes.
And I do love that.
Yeah.
Something that we can also talk about in this half, like, especially, like, Marvel has always been this way with me, but it's been especially bad in Phase 4 and 5 where, like, the percentage of the comedy that lands is not good. I thought that this movie was hilarious. Like, and I didn't think it was too much. Mm-hmm. I thought it was, like, pretty spot on. Like, most of the jokes landed for me.
Oh, yeah. Like, I definitely agree. Like, I found myself laughing quite a bit. And like you said, it didn't overpower what they were doing. Yeah, I mean, and of course, David Harbour was just hilarious for me. So
it was the same way, like, in the theater overall too. Like,
oh yeah,
if you guys remember when we went and watched Captain America, there wasn't really a peep from anybody but maybe once or twice in that.
Mm-hmm.
But also the number of fucking jokes were like not nearly as much as they were in this movie as it was in Captain America.
Yeah, that's true.
No, sure. I mean, I agree.
What I'm saying is they should have toned that shit down some in this movie. I don't need that volume of jokes. You
just don't like fun. That's what it is.
And there we go.
I'll be honest, man. There were some fucking hilarious moments in this movie, and like, I do think that it serves the movie because like most of the humor is kind of dark, Mm-hmm. But I'm not actually just speaking about the comedy. There were action scenes that people reacted to. There were there were some damn near horror scenes that people reacted to.
Yeah,
and like I just think that like Brave New World just failed to elicit that kind of emotion out of the audience. Because I mean, pretty much everybody was just like, "This is fine," But with this movie, I mean, it definitely made me feel things, and I that's what I want from art. So.
Mm-hmm.
I once again kind of fall in between the two of you and you. I did like a lot of the comedy in this one, and I do agree that the audience participation, I guess, the reaction was very great, but I do feel like it towed the line on the amount of comedy specifically. It didn't mess with it nearly as much as it did for me. But there was one or two points, I have none in particular, but one or two points where I was like, oh, and here's the comedy part, yep. But a lot of them got me really laughing.
It's just one of those things for me where it's like, guys, you're not James Gunn. You don't know how to properly balance comedy with drama. I mean, I look at like Guardians 3. It's a really fucking dark movie, and it was really funny. And
open the fucking door.
And I can't think of a whole lot of other directors who do a really great job of having that perfect marriage of the two genres. It's like, for me, this was just, they didn't really try to blend, they just tried to insert jokes wherever they could fit them. And it didn't really, I'm not saying that it drastically detracted from the movie, but it damn sure for me didn't add a whole lot either, especially when not as many as the jokes landed for me as it did for you guys.
So, like, I actually had the opposite reaction almost. Mm-hmm. Like, I kind of felt the movie was more comedic, and the drama was just kind of dropped in there at points. Not the whole, not the big, like the big stuff, but like a lot of the, smaller things. Like, I still felt it was more comedic, meant to be more comedic.
Yeah, I disagree.
I also disagree, but I kind of see what you mean.
Because, like, the drama scenes, there were a few times where I was like, it didn't land the way it probably should have.
I think that still feeds to my point of them not knowing how to marry the two things.
Oh, no, I definitely agree with you there. Yeah.
I don't think that it's as good as... So, I don't think that it is as good as Guardians 3 by any means. Mm. But I think it's better than fucking Suicide Squad, James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. Because there are just... LOL silly moments in that movie that make no fucking sense and would never happen.
But that also doesn't try to be a drama.
It does. It
Suicide
absolutely
Squad?
does. Yeah.
Hard disagree. If we gonna bullshit on this, if we gonna bullshit on this podcast, then goddamn it, I'm
So
I'm
you
tagging
mean to
out.
tell me that the moment where like we're gonna spoil James Gunn's fucking Suicide Squad from like 2020?
It's 5-year-old movie.
Yeah. You mean to tell me that the scene where fucking Peacemaker and fucking kills Rick Flag is not supposed to be like this dark, dramatic moment, or all the stuff? I mean, well, we know the Harley Quinn issue, but you know, they try to drag out this long fucking dramatic shit with her rat catcher. I mean,
the plot in and of itself does not center around drama. The plot in this does.
I mean, he does have a point there.
you don't actually know that they're trying to kill a giant eyeball monster until way later.
Even before that, though, you just know.
I will agree with you that the tone in that movie is overall sillier, but to me, the comedy in this movie never broke me out of like the actual tone or the actual stakes, because like you don't have like nobody cracking the jokes ever felt wrong doing it. Like the few cracks that like Yelena makes, none of it felt out of character. Mm-hmm. She didn't like break out of character to crack a one-liner and then go back. I mean, obviously you don't like David Harbour's Red Guardian, but even for me, he never did anything that I thought was out of line for his character.
Okay.
I will agree with that. I think his character isn't... I don't think it's meant for me specifically as part of my issue. Like, I'll say 75% of his little cracks, I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, I'm here
It's
for
meant
it.
for us.
It's meant for us.
Yeah, it really was. It really was meant for me.
That 25% where I'm just like, okay.
See, it was like,
But not in like a terrible way, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
for me, it was probably like 75-25 in this movie, but it was like 10 and 90 in Black Widow. Like,
Black
it was
Widow
rough.
definitely got me worse.
he's just cringe as fucking that. Whereas here, he feels more like a human being. You know?
yeah,
It's just a lot of dad jokes.
and maybe that's why it was meant for me.
That's probably it.
All right. What else do we have in the spoiler free? We're about an hour in. We ready to move on?
Yeah, I think we can score
Yeah.
this thing and move on. I just real quick will say that I thought the soundtrack was fine.
Yeah. I didn't even think to notice it, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like-
didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like it didn't take away, it didn't give, it just kind of was there.
Which
There-
sorry,
Okay.
I actually, if I had to pick one outside of it being amazing, I'd rather it be there, add to stuff without me noticing, than me being like, what the fuck is going on with this music?
Right, yeah.
There's three different kinds of soundtracks. There's the two okay kinds, where it's either one, you notice that it's balling out of control. The two, you don't notice it and it doesn't ever take you out of the movie. And then there's the one kind that's not okay, which is you do notice it and it takes you out of the movie.
Agreed.
See Batman versus Superman.
So I will say there was
Still
one time that the music kind of got me. This is part of the spoiler section, but it's at the end of the movie, and I actually appreciated what they did with it.
Yeah, there is a soundtrack spoiler that we can't talk about in this
Yeah.
That
app.
too.
Yeah,
Whenever I
yeah,
saw
that's
that,
what I'm talking
I
about.
literally leaned forward and looked over and was like, but you guys were talking to each other too much because of the
I
same
think
thing.
about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I had Youngin 1 and 2 next to me, so I was like, I got nobody. I could just
You
sit
chose
here.
to sit there.
I'm
You
actually
chose
not
to
talking
sit
about
there.
that, but that is also a thing that happened. Yeah, I know what you're talking about too. There's actually a credits spoiler.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
sorry, yeah.
We're talking about something else actually. Another spoiler for the soundtrack that we can't talk about in this half. So,
Yeah.
well, Dylan, you don't want to go last. Do you want to score it first?
Oh, I didn't realize we were putting scoring here.
It's always here.
The last like 2 I was on didn't even have a spoiler section. I mean, a non-spoiler section.
Oh, that's fair. Well, throwback we don't.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
I'm not used to the format
We should
anymore.
do a 30-year-old movie and do a spoiler-free.
Jesus Christ.
We should do a
would be fun, though.
spoiler-free Jurassic Park review where we just can't talk about like the dinosaurs or anything at all.
Imagine doing that for like Star Wars and we can't talk about Luke's relation to Vader.
Yeah.
So delaying tactic over. It's kind of hard for me to score this one because I had a mild physical reaction to the movie that I don't think is going to happen to like 80% of people. So it's going to get a higher mark because of that, oddly enough.
You felt represented.
No, I felt like I was having to do breathing exercises. So I think I'm going to do like an 8.5 out of 10 for this one. I think that just feels kind of right. I really enjoyed the movie. As funny as it is to say right after I said I had a mild freak out in the movie. But yeah, I don't really have anything. I have 3 small to medium things to complain about, but I don't think it's anything that'll really hurt the movie per se. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think I like this movie the least out of everyone in here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell.
Not shocking. I can feel your energy or lack thereof.
Oh yeah, as soon as I walked up to you right after the movie was over and was like, with a Z, you gave me the look.
Yes, I did. You know, and again,
I can't blame you though. I probably would have given the same look.
You know, again, this is the spoiler-free section, but even leading on up to the release of this, I said, how in the fuck are the Thunderbolts going to deal with so-and-so? And the joke was with the power of friendship. On the bright side, I think that most of the characters here are very well done. And, you know, some of them have had more time to settle into these roles than others, but man, I think that for the most part, especially with the team dynamics, they all do a really good job for the most part. I think that the action here is really, for me, what stands out. And man, and again, there's one action scene that's, I would say, maybe at the end of Act 2 is where I would say it is. That's just, yes, give me more of this. But you know, we didn't get any more of that. I think that, visually speaking, I gotta agree with Caleb. This is probably the best that like the CG has looked for Marvel in a long time, and hopefully they can keep that going with Fantastic Four. With Fantastic Four. I'm gonna get a button that just does it for me. I keep saying
we need it.
I think that like the thing that stands out the most to me in a positive way is the team dynamic of this group. I like seeing 4 of them in particular just really kind of shooting the shit together. That right there really did it for me. Pacing as well. In terms of like the plot, and it is specifically tied to a certain character who we're not talking about, I feel left extremely wanting, and it felt really rushed on top of that. I'm going to give it a 7.4 out of 10.
I feel like it's still a pretty solid score for.
Yeah. I had a good time. It's just I wanted more.
So, what you guys are really wondering is this a return to form for the MCU? And I'm gonna say, for the most part, absolutely. This feels way more like a Phase 1, 2, and 3 movie than probably anything that we've gotten since Endgame, with some exceptions. We were talking about this on the way over on the car. Like, if somebody asked me, like, what are the highlights of the MCU after post Endgame, it's definitely going to be Spider-Man 3, No Way Home rather, Guardians 3, and this. Like, that's the cream of the crop for me. It's the best Marvel movie I've seen in a while. I would be interested in seeing more from this director. I thought they did an excellent job with a lot of this. They made this movie. If you stand back and look at it on paper, it follows the Marvel formula, but they do a really good job of making it feel like it's not doing that. I never felt the third act slouch that we've gotten a ton of. I thought that it looked incredible. They used a lot of practical stunts. which I really appreciated. And when there was CGI, it looked good. I really, really, really enjoyed this movie. I'm going to give it a 9.1 out of 10.
Whoa.
Damn, okay.
Dang. So for me, this movie had the majority of the stuff that I just enjoyed from everything Marvel has done before in Endgame. Like, it had the comedy, it had the action, it did have the drama, and I feel like this. I'm hoping that this is the real good Kickstarter back to, like you said, return to form. That, you know, helps push that back to that formula again.
We are so back,
right? I will say that I know David Harbour is in this role is not for everyone, but he was definitely for me. And so with all of this, I will say I'm going to give this an 8.9.
All right.
There you have it, folks.
And there you have it. Which, by the way, Junior is censored, and so am I. You didn't put Deadpool and Wolverine in, like, your post-Endgame highlights.
I'll be honest, man.
Don't fucking say that.
I'll be honest.
I will edit this shit out.
That movie is great, but it doesn't do shit for the MCU. We all kind of agree on that.
Yeah, but it's a great movie.
Well, right, but like it is a great movie, but like I need the MCU to fucking tell me an MCU story.
Yeah.
And they ain't been doing that. This movie feels like they are doing that. Like sometimes it literally feels like, unless you're fucking Peter Parker or on another planet, the MCU hasn't really moved forward at all. Like, we're just kind of stuck in this WandaVision miasma of bullshit. For 2 phases.
I feel like besides like assembling another ragtag team and giving us a new character who we'll talk about shortly, this really didn't do a whole lot to move the MCU forward. Fantastic Four, I think, will.
I think it will too, but I think that this is moving us in that direction. We could talk more about that in a minute.
That we will. Well, there you have it, folks. There is our spoiler-free thoughts and scores on Thunderbolts. That's it.
Asterisk. Thunderbolts asterisk.
All right, so now here's the part where if you guys have not seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, we're going to slowly meander towards the spoiler-filled section and just bullshit and jive and shoot the shit for a little bit. And then we will return with full fucking spoilers. So
that's right.
There's your warning.
What you guys thinking about that Karate Kid trailer?
Like, I was telling Jazz this. I was like, I actually want to see this movie. Like,
I'm intrigued.
I never saw Cobra Kai, so I can't, say, like, I was excited about that. But, like, I do remember, the first 2 Karate Kids, and I fucking loved them. I remember, I'm pretty sure this is my child brain, playing tricks on me.
Hilary Swank.
Yeah, the Hilary Swank, next Karate Kid, I think is what it's called.
Does she show up in Cobra Kai?
I
thought.
I want to say yes. Who here has seen Cobra Kai? Anybody? You seen all
started,
of it?
No, not all of it.
I've started it, but I never did get around to finishing it.
So you know how we talk about on this show where, like, it's okay to like whatever you want to like, but sometimes, like, the thing you like is objectively bad? Well, like, I like Cobra Kai, but I also realize it is objectively fucking bad.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Don't get me wrong, there are some, like, standouts in it, but, like, if I had to say what genre it is whimsical cringe. Like,
that first season, I think, was truly something that was pretty unique and special.
I think Daniel's half of it was unique and special, but Johnny is insanely cringe.
Oh, he's my favorite in that, though.
I feel like that's a really weird thing to say after everything else you've said for the last hour.
No, he's not busting Red Guardian jokes in a halfway decent accent. He's being Johnny and making a point for himself.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I just heard cringe and was like, but wait.
So has anybody here seen Eastbound and Down?
A little bit.
A little bit of it, yeah.
He's kind of like Danny McBride's character in Eastbound and Down, but PG.
Oh my god.
beating up kids.
yeah, beating up kids and like, I mean, it just they do the whole kind of like man out of time thing where like he still thinks it's like 1975, and it isn't.
Doesn't know he peaked.
But he didn't. But he didn't. He wasn't frozen on ice. He was here the whole fucking time. The whole time. And yeah, it's cringe as shit, man. I still enjoy it, but
yeah, I think I tapped out after season 2. They had the big mall fight, and I was like, I'm gonna take a little break from this.
The big mall fight went on for way too long, and then yeah, man, I watched season 3 and they started pulling shit from like the really obscure Karate Kid movies about then. And then, like, it got to the point where they were like, they would have somebody show up and the music would swell and be like, da da da, and I'd be like, I gotta know who the fuck that is. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is. But back to the Karate Kid, the Karate Kid Legacy or Legend.
I don't know.
The Karate Kid movie.
Yeah, the new one. I'm actually excited about it, and like I want to say, wasn't Jackie Chan the Miyagi for
Jaden Smith?
Yeah. So like, I'm excited to see what they do with this, and they actually look like they're letting Jackie Chan, teach this kid how to fight.
I can't believe I'm about to ask this question. Was the Jaden Smith one any good?
I didn't hate it.
Because usually when you ask, like, if Jaden Smith is in something, that's usually a pretty good indicator that it fucking sucks.
Damn.
Oh shit. No, I mean, I thought it was a decent movie on its own, right? But if you were looking for like the original Karate Kid, this ain't that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I saw enough of it to be like,
It seems
It was a
like
fun watch.
the movie continuity is completely ignoring the Cobra Kai events, but I completely understand that because, like, the tone of this movie that they're about to show is way more serious than any parts of Cobra Kai.
You know what's crazy is that Ralph Macchio, like, he can be that much younger than Jackie Chan, but damn if you can tell that directly.
I'm pretty sure that somebody said he's the same age
as Miyagi
right
was
now.
in the first
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and like Ralph Macchio hit like 38 and just stayed there.
He did.
It's just
I
kind
don't
of
know
wild.
what supplements he's taking, but
Right.
I want to know about them.
Right?
Yeah, it's just kind of wild. There won't be another point to put this where it's super relevant, and so this, guys, is just a completely irrelevant story. Has nothing to do with anything. But man, my favorite Century moment from the comic books.
I'm intrigued by this actually.
It's actually in World War Hulk.
Cool.
And basically Hulk is on his way back to Earth. He feels like he was slighted by the Illuminati because they were the ones who sent him out into space in the first place.
I forgot they were in the comics.
Yep.
I think he was slighted by them.
Yeah. But then on top of that, like the rocket ship that he was on, I think it was faulty to a degree where, like, if it was worked on extensively, then it exploded. Hulk made a life for himself on this other planet, and he liked being on this other planet. He had a wife on this other planet.
And a kid, right?
And a kid. Yeah. And but this explosion killed so many of his people, and including his wife, I believe.
Oh, shit.
And so he said, you know what? These motherfuckers have fucked with me for the last time, and he comes back to Earth. Long story short, the whole World War Hulk story is him getting his revenge. And this is where we get Roadbreaker Hulk, which is arguably, in my opinion, the strongest Hulk. And he, one by one, systematically dismantles the Illuminati, except for Namor. Namor is the only one who said, don't shoot that motherfucker in space. Because he will come back. And I ain't going to be around to deal with it. So he didn't fuck with Namor because Namor didn't fuck with him. But, I mean, so Black Bolt, Professor X, who's already crippled, Doctor Strange, I mean, they all pull out, like, their best and like, the best they can do, but Roadbreaker Hulk was a different beast.
Wait, were they all on the Illuminati, or?
Yep.
Yeah, the Doctor Strange too. That's what they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did Reed
makes sense.
Richards show up when the Hulk first came back to Earth, and then just run down quickly everyone's abilities?
Oh yeah. Just so you know.
Wait a minute, Hulk.
Yeah. Just a moment before we start. I have a list here.
Yeah, he fucks up Reed Richards too.
Let me give you a copy of everyone's character sheet.
He's at least a list of their weaknesses as well.
So where sorry.
I think my favorite part of this story though is with Iron Man, who sees what the fuck is happening, and he is, in my opinion, he's in a full blown fucking panic, and so he gets in a suit and flies directly to Robert Reynolds' house, and there you see Bob sitting on the couch, just kind of cowering like he typically does in the comics, and Tony says, "Bob, bro, listen, I know that you don't like being the Sentry because of the Void and all that, but listen, you gotta, it's all in your head, man. Like, that shit ain't even real, bro. Like, listen."
This shit is real.
He's like, the Hulk, the fucking Hulk, dog. He is pissed, and he's coming. He's coming for me. Like, I need you. Help me. Sentry.
Oh, I like that tie-in.
That's what it felt like. He was, like, Tony was beside himself because he knew that, like, the only chance he stood of getting out of this would be if the Sentry would do something. And Bob was like, I can't, man, because I'm afraid what will the Void do? Tony, he gets in his best Hulk buster, and he tries, but
He couldn't bust that hole.
The way you said that,
He tries.
got me.
It probably goes about the way it goes in Age of Ultron.
a little bit. Except Tony doesn't win this one.
Yeah, there's no go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Yeah.
But it's at the very end of the book when there's like a newscaster, I believe, and they're getting all this footage of what the Hulk is doing, and Bob's looking at it and he's like, I gotta fight the fucking Hulk. And so he sentries up and he goes out there, and the way that this story ends is a drag out fight between Roadbreaker Hulk and Sentry, and these two literally fight to a standstill. They fight until they both revert, and it's just Bruce Banner and Bob Reynolds. Just the two wimpiest looking motherfuckers.
Are they still throwing hands?
And they're still throwing hands.
Yeah, there we go. Nerd fight, bro.
It doesn't last long at that point.
just haymaker after haymaker.
But that's probably one of my favorite Sentry moments, because you see that he still has that fear in him. He doesn't want to do it, but man, Tony has done so much for him, and I mean, Tony also manipulated him, but so does everybody.
Help me.
Help me.
Does one of them like stab the other one with a pen, and they're like, "That's not even ballpoint, bro."
This leads to another question. How does the Hulk get stronger?
He gets angrier.
Well, that's the thing. I was like,
Well,
yeah.
it's like so in most iterations of the Hulk, he has a very low intelligence.
Yeah.
Roadbreaker Hulk, it's not Bruce Banner's brain, it's the Hulk, but he's very intelligent.
Okay.
Yeah. And on top of that, because his rage is just through the roof, so it's
It
his
just
strength.
kept.
Yeah.
Okay. So he really just has no upper limit as long as he just keeps getting angrier.
Yeah.
Angrier.
Yeah, he technically has infinite strength if he can get more pissed.
If he can somehow continuously get more pissed.
Yeah.
That's such a weird. It's just my brain doesn't like to figure that out.
Well, neither does his.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right, I think we've done enough moseying. So,
I think we have.
folks, full spoilers for Thunderbolts asterisk from here forward. You have been warned, and we are now going to refer to it by its actual title, The New Avengers.
The new
Avengers with a Z.
With a Z. Avengers.
It's not copyright.
You know what's kind of funny? I like the old title more.
Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
The way that this plays out worked super well. Because I got to say, I did not expect, as everything was winding down, I was like, how the fuck are they going to wrap this up? Oh, okay. And then I was really pleasantly surprised by it.
I was borderline pissed. When they said, Avengers? Really? This is what we're doing? Until the end credit scene. And then I was like, okay.
Yeah, because, as much as I like this team, clearly they cannot solely be the Avengers.
Exactly. Yeah. I like everyone in this group. They are not the Avengers in any way.
I don't foresee.
And the newspaper agree.
Exactly, and like so that whole build up to that post credit scene where you see all these news clippings and magazine articles and tweets and stuff that are just like, these ain't the new Avengers. These just bitches or some shit like that. I'm like, okay, good. At least I'm not alone in my feelings. And then it shows them in the tower at the end. I'm like, thank you for this. Like, you got me. You got me.
Well, yeah, they never play it off to me like it's going to be anything else other than that, and I think it's brilliant. Like, they're the Avengers like John Walker's Captain America.
God damn. Yes.
So they peaked in high school? Or?
I
Was
mean,
it high school or was it college football that he was...
I think he was talking about high school.
I think he was talking about high school, too. That shit was hilarious.
How many of these members do you think will be in the Avengers after Doomsday?
Yelena.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and maybe Sentry.
Oh, yeah. I think Sentry, they're going to find something to do with him because I've always said this in the comics, like, the reason why you don't see the Sentry more is they're like, what the fuck do we do with him?
Well, there's a couple things. Like, obviously, I hope they don't go this route, but it would be effective if they did. They could have Doom fuck him up, in the same way that they had, like, Thanos beat the shit out of the Hulk at the beginning to make you go, oh, this guy's not to be fucked with.
That would have to be...
Let the heel win.
It would have to be Doom at the end of the movie instead of like, Thanos put the hook at the beginning.
Yeah, no, that can't happen.
Yeah. Like, if Doom ascends to like Emperor God status, like he does 2 times in the comics, which is 2 times too many. Like, how'd y'all let it happen twice?
Do you, before we move off of Doom real quick, do you think we're going to get I guess, comic proper Doom out of this one? Because
not necessarily.
we talked about it. We didn't even know his power set.
Oh,
I still don't know what his power set is.
Not properly.
I think in terms of powers, we'll get the most accurate Doom. I'm assuming
That bar is in hell.
It's down there with the link you saw earlier.
It's down there with like this being the best ghost appearance. I get it.
Yeah. Somehow, the best Doom, really, truly, no joke, is the 94.
You sound so hurt.
I am, because
They had 3 other attempts.
they had
And those 3 actually got aired.
you couldn't even fucking understand the guy. Like, he... And he's just kind of a guy, but like, his suit looks cool. He's so bad. He's so bad.
But fingers.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we did what we call a PowerPoint party at the house last weekend, and I aptly chose the worst movies I've ever seen as my topic, and this movie came up at, I believe, number 6.
1994 Fantastic Four.
Yes, and the only good things I had to say were about Doom. That was the only good things about that movie, and I even found a picture of him almost doing this. Like,
I mean, that's one thing about him. Like, if he's on the screen, it may not be good, but it's entertaining.
And that's more than I could say for the middle one, which was just boring.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil the 2015 for you guys, so I won't.
which we got to do another one coming up soon, right? Like, we're gonna do the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, we have to plan that one. I mean,
We
got time.
we could do like a one in May, one in June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it is May now, isn't it?
As of today.
As of today, it's gonna be
gotta
May.
be May.
But it's already May.
Yeah,
Well, it'll be May again too. So
yeah. It's like winter is coming.
Okay.
Like it always is.
I want to talk about my favorite scene in this movie, which is when we see the Sentry. When Madam Hydra, she introduces him, and he comes out, and
Whoa, Madam Hydra. That's what this individual's name is.
So for obvious reasons, they do not call her that in the movies because that would confuse the shit out of people.
Right.
You know, so
Like the fact that you said it confused the shit out of me.
Yeah, I was sitting here like, wait, who the fuck?
Who the fuck is Madam
I think
Hydra?
my brain auto-corrected it. Oh, yeah, her.
Yeah. So instead, you know, they opted to call her for her full name, which they do kind of play up because it's ridiculous.
It is really like insanely long for no reason.
It wouldn't work except that she says it as if it's just like every other name.
Yeah.
And that's what really fucking sells it.
I really want to know how often did she practice saying that fucking name?
So many
I don't know.
times.
She's a brilliant actress, so.
But when Sentry is when he makes his introduction proper, I'm like, oh shit! Like he looks so much better as the Sentry than I gave him credit for.
Yeah. He was like transformative.
Yeah,
I hope they did that on purpose, though.
that's true. Like the gravitas of it all. I mean, the suit looked really good.
He went from Milton to Sentry.
He went from Milton to Homelander fast as fuck.
Oh yeah.
They dyed his hair, and I mean, because I was like, man, he's not even
just lightened
blonde.
it.
Oh yeah.
It's not really dying.
Well,
Ever since I learned that bugs me a little. Like, oh, you dyed your hair. They didn't dye it. It's just lightning.
well.
It's just bleach.
Well, okay. He did an Eminem and took a bottle of peroxide. Whatever. He
Ain't that blonde. But anyway.
Yeah, I was like, wow, he actually does look like the Sentry, because for the longest time I was wondering, like, do you really want the same actor to play Bob and Sentry? But no, they pulled it off, and then
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Do they look different in the comics?
yeah, Bob looks like just a guy. Sentry, just think Superman-ish, and also structurally speaking, just different.
So they really, well, I mean, granted, with a power set,
Yeah.
which is yes.
No.
Yes and no?
No. I mean, like, his power set is yes. Like,
Yeah.
he has yes power.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what are his powers? Yes.
Yes.
I mean, granted, right as soon as the movie was over, I was like, I think I should have powers. But with that, I mean, it would make sense that if he has an alternate, you know, style entirely, then yeah, he could just look however the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
this
shit,
is my first
he goes
exposure to
dark
Sentry. I've never heard of this character.
Likewise.
And I'm like, how the fuck they gonna come close to beating this bastard when he shows up? I'm like, this is literally Homelander with psychic powers.
Which is so dope.
Yeah.
In the worst way.
And, you know, just seeing them try to fight him, for me, this was like the real test of the movie. Like, I want to see them fight the Sentry.
I love that scene.
Oh, it was
yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Very well done. Like, they couldn't hold a candle to him.
He wasn't even trying.
No.
And that's actually what makes it, is like, at this point, he's arrogant, but he's not evil. And he's not actually trying to kill any of them.
Yeah.
But he's also not going to let any of them think they have even remotely a chance. And it's also like, neither Bob nor the Sentry are really trained in, like, combat like all these guys are. So they come up and do all this fancy karate fucking combat maneuver bullshit. And he just is just like, no, I throw you. Like, I backhand you across the room.
I'll treat you like Mjolnir and bring you back.
Right?
For a minute,
I thought he was going to drop him.
I thought that they was about to kill Red Guardian right
Yeah,
there.
for real.
Because that got me to sit forward. I was like,
Oh, shit.
The whole time that they're having that scene, I kept remembering the scene in the trailer where you see him throw somebody through the window. And, like, you don't, in the trailer, you can't really make out who he's tossing out the window. Probably on purpose. As a matter of fact, they probably shot that scene with, like, a double just so it would be, ambiguous or whatever. So I'm sitting there like, someone ain't fucking making it out of here. Because
I also feel like they purposely almost threw people out windows a few times because of it. Because every time they launched somebody, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
they hit a wall, and I was like, "Oh no! All right, you managed to hit one
And,
of
like,
4 walls in this building
With his fucking Dune fucking power shield that's always on. What the fuck? Like,
You know,
who could stand up to this guy?
Did he survive the bullets early on because his skin is just impervious like that, or was it his telekinetic powers?
It's both, really.
Both of them.
Yeah.
So that means that he is stopping bullets because he wants to.
Correct.
That is so... That's so disheartening.
Because the whole concept is like, okay, Bob is like the standard...
Joe Smo.
Just the dude.
Yeah.
Bob doesn't actually have any powers, but just like Bruce Banner, you can't like hit Bruce Banner with a meteor.
Yeah.
Like he's
The Hulk
pretty
gonna
much
pick that shit back up.
Yeah, the Hulk's gonna be like, "Why hit me with this?"
And we'll be like, hey, bro, no one does. That was Sky.
Yeah, and yeah, so you have Bob, but then Bob can become the Sentry, but anything that Bob does as the Sentry will awaken the Void. And so the Void, like, it's kind of like for any amount of time that like Sentry gets to take the spotlight, the Void gets spotlight time. And so it's like he can't be Sentry without unleashing the Void.
So when Bob was talking to Elena at the very beginning of the movie, talking about, clearly his, demons, and then he says the word the Void.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm not familiar with this character, never heard of him whatsoever, I already felt like that's probably going to be his bad guy name.
Actually, she feeds him that line.
Yeah.
She actually is the one who names it Void.
Right, that's right. You're
And
right,
I thought that was dope as hell, actually.
Yeah.
I did not know anything about the Sentry nor the Void, and didn't pick up on that because I have depression. And whenever they were saying that scene, I got completely lost in it and just going like, oh yeah, no, yeah, that's depression.
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
Take that, depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it from that perspective, but yeah.
You're welcome.
Bob has always struggled with a lot of issues.
Does he do meth in the comics?
They never
That's a
specify
question,
meth.
actually.
He was on meth, but in a chicken suit, twirling a sign.
They
Which
didn't
is horrifying.
specify that.
That is terrifying a little bit.
But he is a druggie in the comics, and that's how he gets his superpowers. He goes into this secret lab because he knows they got some good shit in here.
He ain't wrong.
And the good
They
shit,
have the best shit.
Yeah. And the good shit just happens to turn you into like the world's most impervious superhero.
There's one thing in this movie that irked the shit out of me with the writing, and it comes down to like Marvel attempting so hard to be like not offensive to anyone. It's when Bob is telling them about it, he's like, I was wandering around Southeast Asia. Nobody fucking talks like that.
He does say Southeast Asia.
Yeah, nobody says that. Nobody goes.
I didn't pick up on that, but like that's no.
He's like, yeah, I was looking for some drugs. I was just wandering around Southeast Asia. Who the fuck says that?
What if someone said, where in Southeast Asia were you?
Yeah. It's...
Because it was like I want to say the lab he's talking about is the one that Yelena blows up at the beginning of the movie.
I get why they don't want to do it. It's like they very clearly try hard not to offend anyone, and like I don't know, it's very obvious like what sides of the aisle certain politicians are on in this, but they won't say that because
I want to know how he got over there.
Yeah, he just he did a bunch of fucking meth and then probably ran there,
Or
flew in his chicken suit,
or is the Sentry.
Or it could be like in Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't know if you guys will play that, but like, there's 3 playable characters. If you're playing as, Franklin, who's one of the main characters, let me switch over to Trevor. You could have left Trevor at his house last time you played as him. When you switch back to Trevor, he is just in his underwear, laying under a fucking dumpster in a part of the map you've never been. And you're like, what the fuck, Trevor?
So they NPC walk off and do shit?
Yeah, they do
Sim simulator,
yeah, they do shit while you're not playing as them. Yeah, they don't just like stop when you switch characters. They go about their lives.
But the other 2 characters have normal-ish lives.
Yeah,
Trevor,
not Trevor. Trevor's like this motherfucker.
that is amazing.
That's great.
Like, you had clothes on the last time I played as you. But yeah, speaking of drugs, Bob, good old Bob. I thought what they did with the Void, especially in terms of his appearance, was very cool.
Bro.
I loved that.
Like,
shit.
so at first, I'm just thinking, oh, he's just silhouetted by the sun. But no.
And then you see the fucking.
And then you see his fucking eyes. And, like, he is just a fucking void. Quite literally.
It was lovely.
It was amazing. Like, and then, like, at first, yeah, sure, the Sentry shows up. Whoops, they fucking ass. Homelander with psychic powers. Got it. How the fuck they gonna deal with this? I don't know. Maybe they, team up with another superhero or something. Cool.
I knew that.
Then the Void shows up, and I'm like, how they really gonna fuck with this guy?
Yeah. Like, our whole theater was completely convinced that he killed that little girl.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be honest, that was the point where I was like, for real, Marvel?
You don't want to say, Malaysia, but you'll fucking kill a little girl?
Yeah.
So, worst part about it was I saw her there and I was like, oh damn, she dead. They ain't gonna do it though. Oh.
I will say that was probably one of my favorite scenes is when this little girl's like standing in the street after this big ass fight and these fucking debris falls down. Fucking Red Guardian jumps over there, does the whole Superman thing, and he's reassuring her, and all of a sudden Shadow. I'm like, no.
Can we take a minute here to talk about like the imbalances of these super soldier serums? Because
I think they even joke about that.
They do.
Well, what I mean is like it's like I don't know if Marvel really has a grasp of like what this shit does.
It makes it super.
Because it just fucking like what do you need them to do? It'll do it.
Well, I think they've tried to play it off as like it's based on the personality of the person who takes it.
I mean, they do say that a lot.
It's the personality and also what your maximum potential is.
Yeah.
But also like the only person that has a legit like version of it is Steve.
Yeah, he's the only one.
Like the only person that has like the real formula is him. Bruce Banner fucked around with it. You have the really shitty one that John Walker has. The one Red Guardians guy is kind of like
who knows what's in that?
Yeah, there's that's like the ethically sourced horse semen, version.
That's that Hulk supplement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I always say
We gotta save him.
When I'm talking to other comic nerds, I always say that all roads lead back to Captain America because, in the comics, even the Black Widows have a formula.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's why they're so fucking.
I always wondered why they were that strong.
Yeah.
Like they weren't obviously super serum strong.
Yeah,
but I was just like,
that's more than. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. At least there's a somewhat of a thing for it.
Theirs gives them a lot of agility.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even Tony Stark goes back to Cap. I mean, from his dad,
Yeah.
So.
Wolverine, like the Weapon X or the Weapons Plus program was started because they wanted to do what? Figure out a way to make a fucking super soldier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, you right though.
Yeah. All roads lead back to if it's on Earth, all roads lead back to Captain America.
Thanos is like, I constructed Nebula because I heard back on Earth they had this really this badass guy who fought Nazis.
And then the person he's talking to is like, what the fuck is Earth?
It's a planet. They have MTV. You haven't heard of them, but I have.
And they have these stones that are really strong.
And of course, Century goes back to they came up with this shit because they wanted a super soldier.
Well, they got something.
Steve Rogers was just too good of a person.
They got a soldier, and he was super.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. He turned on her real quick.
I liked that actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm over here like we're really about to get the Marvel Homelander right now. That's what's happening. We're about to get that shit.
Well, this dude wasn't the evil though, but he was very quickly just like, you said I was as strong as the whole Avengers team, so like I don't gotta listen to you.
Like,
I did
I
love.
love his
Thor's
line.
on, yeah.
Oh my god, his line.
I love the God line.
Yeah.
He's like, you're like a god. She's like, well, hold on now. And he's like, no, you said I'm better than all these guys. And there was a god on there. When he said that, I was like, damn, he kind of right though.
Right. So yeah, he's a god.
Yeah.
He does beat the shit out of Thor in the comics.
I mean,
So
the motherfucker just He has psychic powers, and he's a super soldier, and can fly.
I think that's part of the psychic powers, actually. But either way,
Doesn't
he can fly.
Yeah, he's the Sentry is incredibly powerful, and it's almost like, because the Sentry and the Void are kind of like two sides of a coin, but man, the switch was just like that.
Yeah.
And I wish we had more time. You know, and it's like I made the joke about, man, I hope they don't stop him with the power of friendship, but it's like, okay, I know that with this team, there's going to be some kind of fugazi way that they have to stop him, right?
Because like, how do they physically match up to this guy? They don't.
And I was going to say, and you know, and with it's just that with the Sentry though, I was really hoping that we get more time to spend with that before we just get that kind of instantaneous flip to, okay, well now you got to see him as the Sentry. Cool. Now here's the Void. It was just, it just needed more time to.
And I feel like the trigger was kind of lazy.
It was, yeah.
Like
they needed to get there somehow.
They needed to get the kill switch.
I don't think it was exactly lazy. I do think they slightly hinted to it earlier.
They did.
They just probably could have hinted a little differently.
Yeah.
Really.
It was a little, not like MacGuffin.
It wasn't the best.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
With how they got there, but I think considering the movie's runtime, it's like a 2 hour and 15-minute movie. It doesn't feel that long at all.
No.
I was fine with how it all played out. From beginning to end, really. I mean, yeah, I would like to have seen, like, if this was a movie where Sentry could have been like the sole focus, then sure. But I thought what we got was fine. Marvel has definitely treated characters way getting worse.
Yeah.
And I really love that they didn't, like, number one, they didn't one and done him. As a matter of fact, they technically never laid a hand on either one of them, really. So, you know, the Void is no less of a threat right now than he was, and it seems like Bob now can control, for the most part, whether he becomes the Sentry or not, but he doesn't want to become the Sentry because he knows if he becomes the Sentry, then there's a very good chance he's also going to become the Void. But he does wash the dishes, though, and I mean,
So
I'm like, hey, I mean, you know,
Kudos.
yeah.
that was my. So I have 3 parts of this movie I didn't really care much for, like that stuck out. The middle of the 3 was the ending, the power of friendship save, and it's not that the power of friendship saved him. I would have rather it been something more than just a hug and hey, we're here. Like,
Yeah, I can definitely.
you
agree
guys
with that.
touched on earlier, you know, depression is this void that you can just fall into. Talk about like you sent to me the Hoyd thing, just like talk about how, hey, yes, not every day is gonna be fucking sunshine, but there will be sunshine again. Not to entirely pull.
Not everybody's
quote.
Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, but I guess it's because I deal with depression very heavily, that it, like, yes, that would have momentarily paused it. I don't 100% know if just being hugged could or couldn't do what it did there, or like fully pull out. But I just wish there was something, just that little bit extra right there.
I actually don't mind this moment. I mean, sure, we can reduce it to power of friendship, but that's not really what happened.
I didn't hate it. Let me preface with that. I really didn't.
Because the way that from jump, right, the very beginning of this movie, Yelena talks about how she's so empty and unfulfilled and alone. And her and Bob connect off of that immediately, right, when they meet each other. And I think she kind of sees aspects of herself in him. And they really harp on them in the movie about that concept of him being alone. Even the Void does that.
Yeah.
So when she comes in at the end and she's like, you're not alone, I'm here, I've got you, or whatever. Like, that to me was, like, it worked for me.
I just think it's incredibly lazy. And I realize you can't physically beat them, but man, the way they went about it, I just thought it was lazy.
So I'm actually kind of like in between you and Dylan. Like, I definitely don't feel it was lazy, but at the same time, there could have been some differences there. Like, I agree. Honestly, and I think this might be just me stretching, but I think the reason why we are having the reactions that we are to this is because I don't know if you've ever been depressed, sir.
What can I say?
Exactly. So you don't relate to it. Like, I've had my moments with depression. I know he has, and Dylan clearly has. So that's probably why you didn't connect with it as much as the rest of us did. So, but like, I definitely agree. It did kind of feel power of friendshipy towards the end, but like Yelena's scene, like when she first gets to him, I appreciate it. I liked that because that was the character he connected with. When the rest of them got there, I didn't see the point.
I think I very much agree with that.
The thing I don't care for in that scene is how at a certain point, like, none of them can move, and then they just can because the plot needs them to be able to. That I don't like. That's my problem with that scene.
Her getting out, I liked because
like it took Red Guardian to get her out.
Yeah, he actually became more trapped because he positioned so she could get out. That was fine. But then, magically, all of them now can just, I couldn't do that 2 seconds ago.
We could have used at least a little bit of that,
getting talked down.
Like, either getting talked down or, actually seeing the Void lose some control. Like, even when he's getting his ass beat, the Void is not lost control.
Yeah. I would have liked, I actually think, for me, it should have been just Yelena.
Yeah,
I agree.
That pulls him out. Because I'm going to be honest, if I'm like rage mode beating the shit out of my depression, right? And then I see John Walker, it's just going to make me more upset.
Yeah.
And see, here's another thing. Like,
I do like that
Bob
he's the only one that got
doesn't
stabbed.
really know the Red Guardian.
He doesn't really know any of them.
No. Or Bucky.
Let's keep it a buck. He doesn't know any of them.
See, this is the thing that you got to understand, though, about like depressed people is they will very quickly, if they see that like darkness in somebody else, they very quickly gravitate.
Trauma bonding.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why Yelena makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
The rest of them, no.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, it just...
I am legitimately glad that you don't understand this.
Yeah, actually, I think that's one of the,
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, I have bad days, whatever, but I don't fucking know. I haven't been diagnosed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
So
I'm not going to go...
put it on myself either.
I'm not going to go so far as to say that you've never been depressed or anything like that. Not to...
No.
But I do think that based on our initial reactions to this, it does kind of gauge our sliding scale position.
I am also the comic book guy.
That's also true. So you have other skin in the game.
I have other skin in the game, and on top of everything else, man, like I just need my stories to be concise.
I think unless someone is incredibly low intelligence, I think everyone has been depressed.
Yeah.
Not everybody has depression.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
right.
So I do have one question, though. If it had been changed to what we were saying would be better, would you have liked that more? If she was the one that ran over and talked him down, actually, not just hugged him, would you have liked that approach better?
Slightly.
Okay. I'm just curious. That was literally just a curiosity.
But because I also do agree with you that, like, he barely knows any of them. But, like Caleb also said, that connection that he developed with Yelena over the loneliness and the void itself, it is pretty valid. So
that makes sense.
I do
You
like
may
that
not
they
know,
showed
but
up.
when you get to Stormlight, it's going to explain it to you.
I do like that they showed up in the attic scene. I liked that they were there.
I did
not like...
How the fuck did they just pop up there?
That part I don't care much for.
Well, the movie actually... So this is the scene I wanted more of that I referenced in the first half. The movie kind of implies that, like, all of them went through the same journey that she went through. I thought... I really loved the visual of Yelena's journey. I wanted to see all of them.
Even if it was just like a real quick snippet.
Yeah.
Okay, quick snippet, sure, but
had to have been.
because if they would have went through the level that they went with Yelena, like I think I would have been like, no.
No, they could have done one less room with her, and they just do like some small scenes with the others. Yeah, because like obviously with some of the others, it could have been things that we already know about. Like they could show Bucky fucking killing Tony Stark's parents, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they could have just shown like a really brief kind of glimpse of those. I thought the Yelena scenes were really fucking powerful, especially the one where she's like basically like drunk, or they kind of imply that she maybe drank herself to death, or she's passed out drunk by the tub or whatever. That scene was super powerful, I thought. So
honestly, all of her scenes were really powerful. So
They were, but I think that one is the most easy to connect to as a standard person.
a person.
Yeah, she's looking at like if she had made worse decisions version of herself, essentially. Like this is what you could very easily become.
Even if she might even have been there.
Yeah.
Well, she had, but say like she had mentioned like nights where she'd just come home and drink.
Yeah.
So like that in itself, showcased that.
And she's Russian, so
Vodka.
they do like their vodka.
Aside from the fact that how they got there, just meh. But them showing up and helping, and then getting trapped, I liked that part.
Yeah.
I did not like them getting out and going to help, but
Like, I think what I would have accepted is, like we said, Yelena getting free, going and, talking him down. But, like, even to take it a little bit further, like, I am definitely one of those people who, like, when people are having, those types of moments, unless I am super, super close to them, I'm not going to crowd them.
Yeah.
So
you're already freaking out. It's a bad idea.
Yeah, so one of those things I would do is like I would just be there, but at a distance, just in case they needed something.
Yeah.
Like, so if they did something kind of like that, I would have been okay with that.
So basically, them still trapped, but hollering their approvals and saying,
Yeah,
"Hey, we're here."
something along those lines, or at least like as they're trying to pull, like they pull free, but then get immediately trapped back or something like that.
I will say they did. I did notice one thing of the Void losing his hold on Bob, and that was just the darkness level. After she hugged him, before his fist was black, and then it went back. So it was like a super. I kind of think it's super like weak version of showing that he was losing control, because you really had to pay attention to it. So I didn't super love that part. It was kind of cool that it was there. I liked it being there, but like, it's still anyway.
I will say too that her action scene here at the finish was fucking awesome.
Oh,
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Like her parkouring through all the flying furniture and shit, that was dope.
And I did like that it was still technically all moves that she normally does.
Right, yeah exactly.
It's just perfectly done.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, man. The people that wrote this shit, they have more restraint than me, because I totally would have had her do a fucking superhero landing in this. Because you guys said you didn't really remember, but like she picks on fucking Natasha for that shit relentlessly in the Black Widow movie.
Well, I get I think I get the feeling that they're gonna eventually have her do it because she's a new Avenger.
Yeah.
I guess, can I go through my other two things that irked me? I'll do the first one that irked me, and it's dialing way back to the start when they're getting out of the bunker, and their whole plan was turn the lights on, this, that, the other. That part was fine, whatever. I kind of even liked that it messed up, but how the fuck did Ghost know who to stop next to in the truck?
Oh my god.
They were full head to toe covered in disguises, and Ghost just pulls up. Hey, you guys, come on. At their backs.
Like, the only explanation I could possibly give is that she was tracking them the whole time.
And it's not like a huge thing, but like when she pulled up, I was like, how the fuck? And then I got back into the movie.
not to take away from your point, it just hit me really quickly. We forgot to talk about Taskmaster.
Yeah, actually, that's what I was going to bring up, because You guys didn't get to hear this. This could not have been fucking written any better if we planned it. So like literally there's a part where like Taskmaster's fighting I think John Walker and she's fucking him up and I lean over, I was like, I guess even B-list Taskmaster ain't to be fucked with. And immediately as I got that out of my mouth, black. Like,
it was like he had seen the movie.
Oh, so that's who Taskmaster was.
I mean, it was.
I didn't know who that was.
Like the timing, it was exactly as I just said it. Like I got it out of my mouth, and then she shot that bitch, and I was like, "Well, never mind."
So I knew who that was immediately. I forgot her name. And I said a different person's name. I forget which one. I don't think I said Deathstroke or something like that. But it was another name. And James had talked to me. He was like, "Oh, who's that?" I was like, "Oh, it's so and so. They can copy any fighting style basically." I wasn't going to go into all that. They were in the middle of a fucking fight. And then afterwards, it was like they said her name. I was like, "Oh shit. Hey, that was wrong."
Honestly, like if any of these characters needed to die, and we talked about this on a previous episode, like it needed to be her. Like. Nothing against the actress, but like the way this character was fucking written was absolutely atrociously terrible in Black Widow. And like honestly, the character and the actress both deserved better. So I mean, really, their best bet here is just to maybe put a fucking legit Taskmaster in Secret Wars and like let us get like a real one.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that would be great if they did that.
Or just like let them be in like Born Again, like season 7 or something.
Yeah, fuck it. That'd be great too.
Yeah, exactly.
But I fucking love that scene.
Fucking John Bernthal and Daredevil versus
Taskmaster. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that fight scene where they like we talked about, like non-spoiler version of it, like of how they showed each character's like abilities and like. But like I think at one point they're throwing a knife around, all 4 of them, and it showed how each one uses a knife,
right?
And that was amazing.
That opening fight scene was dope as hell.
Oh yeah.
Also, I mean, did anyone catch this when Bucky was fighting Sentry? He does the same knife trick that he tried with Cap.
Yeah,
back in Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
yep.
And I did not catch that part.
Not work.
It did not work.
I did. I do remember him like pulling the knife out, and I was like, "The fuck are you gonna do with that?"
Yeah.
Honestly, it does that for like most of the people.
Yeah, so this isn't like the Dune shields. Like you're not gonna slowly push it through. No, you're gonna die.
Yeah. I did love seeing the knife slowly get destroyed.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I love that opening fight scene a lot, especially what was it? Somebody hid behind a table. I think it was Yelena.
Yelena.
And then John Walker threw the shield and like the desk just goes flying. I was like, damn man, that's nifty. Just get rid of your cover.
Which, by the way, I don't remember what his shield is made of.
Isn't it like a lower version of Steve's?
Yeah, it's got to be a titanium composite because he's not getting any vibranium.
Yeah, no.
And it has scratches.
Yeah, and adamantium hadn't been discovered yet.
We got vibranium at home.
Right?
That's what it's made out of.
Yeah, like as we later see that, Sentry just kind of folds it like a taco.
Team Uranium.
But it can still block bullets.
Yeah. Better than the limo.
It was bulletproof-ish. Could Sentry have done that to Cap's shield?
I had a feeling that question was coming.
You're welcome.
Probably not that easily.
There's just, I mean, because like I don't even think I think the Hulk has tried to bend it, and maybe
it gets broken, but
maybe the Hulk could have bent it, but he got mad and just threw it instead.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
we do know that it's not just like completely indestructible because Thanos is whatever the fuck his thing is made out of.
Fuck uranium.
Yeah.
His double-sided vibro blade, that's what it was.
He searched the entire universe for like the most ballin' shit you could possibly find, and then he took it to is it Eitri?
Yeah, Eitri the dwarf,
and was like, "Make me a fucking double Falcon out of this shit."
Yeah.
Actually, what would that technically be?
Falchion.
Yeah, whatever. But is that what it actually is, or no?
Like I'm correcting your word, but
Thanos is.
Yeah, I actually don't know the name of that blade.
I don't either.
It looked like a double Buster Sword.
I was literally about to say that.
Yeah. Like, honestly, the closest thing that I've ever seen is like a double-sided vibroblade, for real.
Well, because a fucking human couldn't wield the thing that Thanos has.
And also,
a normal human can't really wield a fucking Buster Sword either.
Yeah, exactly.
You get two moves, chop and swipe.
God damn it.
Well, it's just
I'm just glad I didn't pull up my phone first.
it's been heavily theorized that all that weapon Thanos used was just the blaze off the propellers from the Thanos copter.
Oh my god.
So what?
Oh, and now I'm gonna pull out my phone.
Oh no.
I mean,
no.
I can't let that just go.
Why do we have to No, why do we have to talk about the Thanos copter?
The Thanos copter.
So
I'm upset.
actually this actually says that it's probably made out of Uru metal.
I was gonna say Uru, but I was like, but no, it wouldn't be Uru because like, where the fuck is he gonna get Uru from unless he,
Thanos probably collapsed a star.
Yeah.
And was like, he was like, I need some Uru metal. Idri, how do I get some Uru metal? He was like, well, you gotta do this. He was like, fine, I'll be right back.
And he's like, wait, what you mean you'll be right back?
He just comes back holding a fucking big ass like dead star.
Yeah, that's crazy because I legit was gonna say maybe it's made of Uru, but I was like, where the fuck is Thanos gonna get Uru from? Like, you gotta know somebody. You gotta be Odin to get some shit like that. But Thanos, I guess, said fuck it.
You said there was a third
There
thing.
is a third. So the third thing, I don't know if it was by design or not, but fuck, what's that long bitch's name? Miss Hydra
Yeah,
or whatever.
Madam Hydra.
Madam Hydra. It's easier for me to say. So when she is manipulating Bob, that's what irked me the most because I'm sitting there watching. I was like, oh, okay, we'll see somebody like manipulate somebody. That's interesting. We'll see how she goes. And then she does it so half-assed, and I don't know if that's on purpose, but it kind of ticked me off. She says the wrong things too fast and really just lays it on there, and that might be just like a time frame issue.
I think it's because, and again, in my opinion, like that whole third act was really rushed, and I think like the reason why it came across that way is because the script just did not have the time for them to fully flesh out those moments.
And that could very well be it. It's like I said, none of those things killed the movie for me. Those are the three things that kind of irked me about it.
I do think that it's odd. Like, typically, especially in the MCU, but this is typical of like modern blockbusters. Is like, Act 1 is either the best act or it's too slow. The movie usually lives or dies on Act 2, and then like, depending on the dice you rolled in Act 1 and 2, Act 3 is either going to be great or atrocious. But this movie kind of avoided that. I mean, like, I definitely think that the third act is the weakest in terms of the script. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think it, like, fell off to the degree of, like, Shang-Chi or something like that.
Well, there were no dragons in this. Come on. It's not fair.
A giant CGI dragon just fucking shows up. Like, what the fuck?
What has he been doing?
So,
Right, what the fuck is Shang-Chi doing? Why can't he be in New Avengers?
Right.
So I forgot something I was going to bring up way earlier, and this is a bit of a lull, so it fits here. Whenever I saw the Void for the first time in his eyes, it reminded me of what was the wolf from Neverending Story?
Yeah. I don't remember his
Falcor?
name, but no, the wolf.
That's
Oh, the wolf. I'm sorry, my bad. Like my brain was still on Flying Dragon.
But like when you see him in the cave and his eyes are just my brain immediately went back to that shit.
And that shit was horrifying.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That wolf puppet is still horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why practical effects hold up, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I loved the way they did the Void in this. I don't know if that's accurate to the thing or not.
So the interesting thing about the Void is that for the longest time in the comics, you don't see it, and so therefore you don't know.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, because you don't really know if is this a real thing. So, like for example, Bob would save 5,000 people from a collapsing scaffolding or some shit, and then say an hour later, 5,000 people would get hit with a tidal wave. He would say, oh no, that's the Void, and it would freak him out, and so people would be like, no, Bob, that's not the Void, that's just
I really like that.
Yeah, like that balance between the two characters. Yeah,
He has
him not
no
being able
knowledge.
to like prove it or not. And people being like, no, and like the mental mess up that would cause.
Doesn't he actually make a in-world comic book about them at some point?
He makes a comic book about himself.
Yeah.
And
That's bonkers.
to hide himself because
Yeah.
he doesn't want to be found out. And they're like, wait, he's the Sentry, like the comic book character?
And like, no. What do you mean comic book character?
The greatest part about that is the Marvel writers, they gaslit the fuck out of the comic readers because they presented it like the Sentry actually existed in comic books from the Silver Age. And so, yeah. And it was funny because people were like, yeah, I think I remember this guy. He was...
Oh, they got that effect to go, huh?
Damn.
They gaslit the readers and the characters in the book. It was incredible. Fucking incredible.
They like Mandela affected you.
Yeah. I was like, I ain't gonna lie, guys. I don't remember this.
It's like, man, this is weird.
So, I wanted to hold this until we got to like another lull point, but how do you think he's going to show up for the other two movies?
I
that we have
Caleb's
possibly connected to.
I think Caleb's on to something. Like he has to fight Doom. Like maybe Doom amasses some extraordinary power, and they need to buy time while they figure out. While Reed Richards figures out his MacGuffin to stop Doom. You send the Sentry out there, and let him go at it. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like. The great thing about the Sentry is, as powerful as he is, he does have that handicap to him, you know, because that the Void is just as dangerous as Sentry could be potentially good.
Do they ever get the Void to fight a villain? Because I feel like the Void doesn't give a fuck who he throw hands with.
You know, I don't know about that.
I feel like the Void is like straight up evil.
Yeah.
I feel like with the way how it's and I could be projecting slightly on this, but with how it's figured out and with that, it's just whoever's on site, really.
It's a little bit of that. It just
it's very neutral, honestly. Like, well, yeah, it's got like, this horror element to it, but like
true neutral evil.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm just going to take what's ever in my path.
With this version, though, it's like I feel like we don't really see like a true depiction of what the Void will be going forward in this movie, because in this movie, first off, like the Void is not the main villain. Madam Hydra is the main villain.
Okay, yeah.
The Void is just like her means to an end.
Yeah.
Well, Sentry was. She didn't know about the Void. She fucked up real bad. She was like, man, I really fucked up. And then he turned into the Void. And then she was like, oh.
I really fucked up. This movie's just a series of her fuck-ups, if you think about it.
It really is.
And this is where, like, part of me gave her too much credit at the end. So, you know, they're at the very end. They've already stopped, Bob, brought him back down, and they see her across the way, start chasing her down a little bit. Well, stalking her. She walks through this curtain and has a press conference.
Yep.
And she goes and immediately goes, "These are the new Avengers." And I'm like, was this bitch is playing this whole time?
Oh, I didn't get that at all.
So, but then did I I quickly it was like, no, this bitch has been fucking dumb. Like she's just going.
Well, I don't know. It was kind of smart, like to spin it that way.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. Like she's good at thinking on her feet. But actual planning of anything, no.
Oh,
it's all her assistant.
That's why she had to have all of the main characters elaborately kill each other at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, that'd be a fucking amazing way to start a D&D campaign.
Yeah.
Is to send all your characters to kill each other.
Yeah, you're about to start one.
No, I can't do it now. You guys are all going to be in it. You'll see it coming.
But can we talk about also, like, why did the fail-safe incinerator thing have a 2-minute timer on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little dumb.
Yeah, why wouldn't... Well, because movie.
The only thing I could possibly think of is if it was a built-in safety thing anyway.
Oh, and they just activated it. Which, actually, I think that's kind of the way they presented it, because, like, it's supposed to be a research facility, so more than likely they had some stuff in there that if it got out, it could fuck shit up, so they have an incinerator. Yeah. So that makes sense.
The 2-minute timer is a... Hey guys, why is this on? Could somebody sit on the tablet again? Could you turn this off real quick?
They didn't build this facility to kill these. Like, they could have done this easier than that. Like, they just already had this and they sent them there. So that was like there would be people working in the building. Get the fuck out. You know?
I have a theory.
What?
I think Mel was her name, right?
Yeah.
The assistant. I think she would have known how to do it immediately. But because the tablet was fucking taken from her, she's like, give me that shit.
Maybe.
Madam Hydra just doesn't know how to use a tablet well enough to fucking get that shit done.
Do we see Mel after Sentry shows up?
No.
I don't.
I mean, is she dead?
Well, she pressed the thing, and then we don't see her after that, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, she does press. Yeah, but then
Okay, yeah. And then she just fucks off, which is the smartest move out of anybody.
Yeah.
Boy, she is like the most.
She needs a
wishy-washy
raise.
character. She needs to raise, but she needs to like. Do you want to work for Madam Hydra? Or do you not?
I think she's a normal person. The best way I've seen on a show or a movie at all. She is a normal person. Who's
Yeah, I
like
agree.
stuck in a shitty situation where she's like almost too deep. Probably should fucking leave, but still kind of stays.
I can't really get jiggy with that
That's fine.
because there are.
It's not a good thing.
because there are tons of human lives on the. It's not like, man, I don't want to do this because like it'll fuck up the payroll and then it'll have to bounce back to next week. This is like, if I keep doing this, I think a lot of people are gonna fucking die.
I think her negative to it isn't it's gonna fuck up the payroll. It's I'm gonna get fucking killed.
Yeah,
She hints at that. Great, still not an excuse, but it's
It's a
very
better one.
human.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that given the concept of the job, I think she probably worked at whatever the company was, Aux or whatever that company was.
Well, she even says she wanted to do it to make the world better
Yeah. She probably got sold a false bill of goods just like everybody else.
and kept them bladders on for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure when the money starts to hit,
That helps blind it.
And
Yeah.
also,
The piles of them,
yeah.
Mel should have also been worried because like if the Congress is going after Madam Hydra,
The rest of her associates will be too. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they committed at least some more crimes at base level. Just
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I really need that Fantastic Four button. I'm gonna do that really soon.
But
Yeah,
you know what's weird? That means Mel is why the Void is prominent.
you kind of wonder what would it look like if Madam Hydra, she may or may not have died. Who knows?
Oh, she would have been dead.
You think he would have killed her?
He was about to.
I
Well,
don't know.
Like
She was getting choked at
I feel like
best, she gets
Sentry-
knocked unconscious.
had a level of control.
Yeah.
Like the fucking Thunderbolts were attempting to take him out.
Yeah.
And he didn't kill any of them.
But
And
this
he
was
just
a
was
different
like,
thing.
they're no threat to me.
I think he kind of knew she was doing something to try and take him out. I don't think he knew exactly what it was,
Yeah.
but that's why he grabbed her all of a sudden. And then whenever she was talking about it, he kind of amps himself up to squeeze the life out of her. And I think he wouldn't have stopped.
Yeah.
He's not of healthy enough mind to he made up his choice.
In terms of the Void, kind of what I was saying earlier is like when we see him in the future, I think it's gonna be different because in this movie, he was trying to get Bob to like basically surrender control to him, where the Void would just be like the main personality. I think.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to do that now. So like,
It's too
I
solidified.
think the next time we see the Void, he's probably going to be more like the comics, where he's just like, I don't have much time. I'm just going to fucking balance out whatever the Sentry did.
I think that's a good possibility too. I think they'll play with that more because they did hint towards that at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
When they said we can just get the Sentry to fly up there, and he was like, well, I don't really want to.
Yeah, because you get the Void too.
I mean,
like that.
a brilliant thing for Doom to do would be to present some kind of threat that like they can't just fuck with, and they need the Sentry so that he can get the Void to come out. That would be another way that they
That'd
go
be a
about
good
it.
one.
He gets the Fantastic Four. They come to 616 Earth. They bring Galactus with them. The Sentry, he's able to repel Galactus, but the Fantastic Four Earth, that's how they get obliterated.
Oh,
they're thinking, oh, we're good. Galactus is gone. And
Why is it dark? I had one more gripe. Not really a big one, and I don't think they, in any way, they would have done this a different way. I kind of don't like that no one outside of Rubblefall died. Everybody that got shadowed just came back.
Well,
yeah.
In that one instance. The other ones are gone.
Okay, I'm over here like I'm pretty sure Yelena killed like at least 24 men at the beginning of the movie.
The shadowing thing.
Got you. Yeah.
There is a scene early in the movie, like when she's just talking about how she's just like going through the motions at her job or whatever. You know, she's like going through that facility and she's just kind of like taking everybody out with her karate and shit. But she shoots them last two dudes.
Oh yeah, she shoots the fuck out of them.
I was like, what? Why did just those two guys get shot?
She's bored.
Yeah, I guess so.
She's basically in midst of depression while beating the fuck out of people.
Yeah, that scene where the dude accidentally shoots himself was hilarious.
That was really funny.
That was good. Yeah. I needed your face.
I needed that face.
I loved that whole chunk because I'm currently rewatching Arcane, and it just gave off very big mid-Jinx vibes.
Yeah.
I liked it. I love a character that's a little cracked like that. I can't help it.
Yeah, I have I think a mild confession / realization I just made. Mm-hmm. So like, I mentioned earlier that I really like this John Walker character. I mean, I've always kind of I might like John Walker more in the MCU than I do in the comics because
Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt Russell kills it.
I agree with that.
And then also he's just presented more times than not straight up antagonistic in the comics, and then every once in a while he's a pretty good person. Like he is in the Thunderbolts at one point in the comics, but recently in the homie Kevin's D&D campaign, he killed off my character. Fuck you, Kevin. But the character I made in retaliation to that, he's busted for one thing. So try to kill this one. But also,
don't say that to him.
but also, his personality is very much John Walker. Straight up.
Maybe that does say something about you.
I got good taste in characters.
Oh, okay.
I will say this. I really love that the only like one-liner that he really has in the movie. Well, I guess he has two, but he's not cracking a joke. Like, he's really actually upset that his shield got folded into a fucking taco.
But it's a fucking taco.
But everyone in the theater and the other characters like,
that shit's funny.
I also like that. Oh, hey, it's Bucky, and then like the explosive sticks to the fucking car.
That face drop.
Great.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's like, yay! Oh.
Bucky's whole fucking Terminator 2 sequence.
Yeah.
Was dope as hell.
That was super dope.
Yeah, that's when Bucky's he had to pull a Kendrick Lamar. Sometimes you gotta pop up and show niggas. that was Bucky right there. Through and through.
But like we talked about this during the non-spoiler section, but like when Yelena pulls out and like
perfect
fires her one shot at this Humvee.
I think she missed too.
Yeah, I don't think she even shot nothing. And then she's like,
it explodes and flies off, and she's like, okay.
All right.
The movie sits with that for a while.
second,
And I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, she was just like that. And even Red Guardian's like, what's happening? And she's like,
I took care of it.
I took care of it.
Everybody collectively, in movie and out, was like, the fuck?
Yeah,
Come
Florence
to find out, Bucky's just throwing proximity mines.
Florence Pugh is incredible. Like, I would actually love for her to explain nuclear physics to me while naked in a movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She can explain anything to me while naked. And I'm like, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Have you seen Oppenheimer? Were you with us? Okay, yeah. I was telling Oz about that scene on the way over
I did not realize that was the same person, though.
Yep.
Yeah. She's just that. She's that good.
You didn't recognize because she had clothes on.
She also wasn't talking about nuclear physics.
That too.
Ironically, I think the nuclear physics probably distracted me more.
Yeah, for you, yeah.
Yeah, for me too. Oh shit! What else do we got?
I just hope we get more fucking John Walker because, like, I don't know. I just really loved his whole character. Like Wyatt Russell, just like, can we just get him forever? Because he's just so awful.
Right.
That character irritates, and not even in like the best way. That character irritates the shit out of me. I don't hate him, but he just irritates the shit out of me. So every time he's on screen, I'm like, I hate you.
Right? Like it's just this presence that's just like
Just such a punchable face.
just shut the fuck up.
My knuckles aren't going to do shit against you, but I want to.
Like, okay, I think that everybody knows a John Walker.
Yeah.
They might not have super soldier serum, but it's like
Yeah.
that annoying ass person that you know just got super soldier serum.
Yeah.
I'd be extra pissed. Because that means there was a slight chance I could have got that shit.
Well, anybody could have got in the show, pretty much anybody could have got the one he got, but you don't really want that one.
No.
You don't really want the Team Super Soldier Serum.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, like if there's a super soldier serum that was made after 1950, I don't want it.
Nope.
I can't say I wouldn't think about it, but I probably would not take it.
If
it was like right here, if it just like showed up right here, I'd be like, nah, I shouldn't.
have y'all seen Black Dynamite? Mm-hmm. It's probably like drinking Anaconda malt liquor.
Yeah.
It make your dick small.
Well, Yelena does say
Fuck,
that
I
to
forgot
him.
about that shit.
Yeah.
God, that is such a movie.
That shit is hilarious when Yelena's just like, oh, okay, let's put our tiny dicks away.
That was funny.
I was like, okay, Marvel, I see.
John's like, my dick medium small.
I have the fucking boomerang scene stuck in my head still. Do that shit before I came in here.
I don't know, man. They probably crumbled up some blue chew in that shit. They were probably just like, what else can we add to this? What'll work?
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, just anything they could get.
Yeah.
Just gasoline, kerosene, whatever.
Horny goat weed, whatever that is.
Because I'm pretty sure the version that the Flag Smashers had was like, someone had like tried to, it was like somebody tried to reverse engineer the shit that Bucky got.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like, it was a knockoff of the knockoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy because Steve he got the only good one. Red Skull didn't get it.
I was about to say it's a little wild that nobody else got like close, but honestly, a lot of them got close to Captain's serum. It just had some hella side effects.
Mm-hmm.
The Soviets made two things: super soldiers and nuclear reactors, and they fucked them both up.
Honestly, though, one of the things I'm curious about is was Steve's serum really that much better, or was he just that much of a good person where like his personality just absorbed any side effect?
I think it's both.
Both of them.
Both of them?
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Because
It's like that wonderful storm, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's a reason why they assassinated Abraham Erskine, the guy who made the serum. You know, because they can't have the Americans having this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't have like multiple of these guys because
God,
like
imagine the
one was more than enough. Anything else before we talk about this after credit scene?
I think we're ready for the after credits.
I'm sad that the fucking credits spoiled that shit for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the song?
Oh yeah. So
yeah.
we talked about this a little bit. So at the end, when she says this is the new Avengers, they do that shit that Jurassic World 3 did to us, but they did it on purpose. Where it's like they just kind of play the real Avengers theme, but it's just off.
Just off, just enough. It's like, okay, I see what you did.
And they
hear
actually,
it.
Okay.
yeah, because when she says the new Avengers or whatever, like they have that scene where Yelena's like, well, "We own you now" or whatever, and then like the camera pans back and you get the little dun 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 dun, dun, but it never goes fully into the dun 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 dun.
See, I caught that, but I didn't. It didn't register like that to me.
Yeah, and that was the spoiler I was originally talking about, and then like unfortunately, normally like the actual important scene would be the mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
Whereas, and then the one that's just like a gag would be at the post-credits, which here they flip that. The mid-credit scene, while it landed, was just for laughs.
How well is the cereal selling if there's that many boxes still on the shelf?
They could have just restocked it.
But I said it's just restocked, my dude.
I'm saying the other cereal boxes look like they didn't have that many.
Well, I mean, it's kind of evident that people don't think that they're all that, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know. But like, I do love how he shows up as literally Russian Hopper. Like, like he done got rid of the beard. Yeah. He's got the mustache and the Miami Vice sunglasses. Like straight up fucking Hopper.
I do love the slow.
And then the lady puts it back. That shit was great.
Like, didn't even give him the benefit of going to the next side.
That is me in the cereal.
It is ironic that, like, the one time, like, he wasn't bigging up his life and lying was, like, when he's told Yelena, I drive, for really important people. I mean, he does.
Right? He kind of worked his way up to that. He even says in the thing, but like, no, damn, he actually was there. I also wasn't shocked by that.
He's like, I just got to go on this 20-hour road trip. I'm sure I'll be there in time to stop this shit from happening.
Right?
I will say, though, I was telling him this in the car on the way over here. These two, there's two scenes that have the same fucking energy. So I just recently watched back through Stranger Things, and so season 4, when Mike, Argyle, Jonathan, and Will are all driving up to save Elle in the pizza van.
Yep.
It's the same like energy that Red Guardian driving up in his limo has.
That scene was really funny. I am mildly curious how the fuck he knew. I'm assuming she has some tracker on her that she didn't even know about.
I mean, like, cause he's kind of a spy, kind of.
Spy adjacent?
He
knew some spies.
But how good of one is he?
Not.
Apparently good enough to track down where the fuck Yelena was.
I guess that's the other, like, bigger plot hole-ish thing. Like the initial, both of them are in fucking vehicles. Apparently in this universe, if you're in a vehicle, you know where you need to go.
Well, I will also say this, Red Guardian, he's not half the limo driver that Wolverine is. Wolverine, way better limo driver.
What was the What If episode? Was it Shang-Chi and Red Guardian?
It was Bucky and Red Guardian.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, I liked them here way fucking more than I did in that shit, because that shit was unbearable.
Oh boy. All right, I think we are ready to...
Yeah. So we're in Avengers Tower with the Avengers...
Avengers with a Z. It's not copyright.
And they're talking about that Sam Wilson is turbo pissed about them starting to do Avengers, as he should be.
Validly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he has filed for a trademark on the name. Apparently people on the internet are like LOLOL about this.
Fair.
I will say one of those images got me, though. It's like where they're in the boat or whatever, and fucking Red Guardian's got like the flower or whatever. He's just kind of sitting in the boat. That shit was funny as fuck to me. But, yeah, so obviously the people are taking to the new Avengers about the same way they took to the new Captain America being John Walker. And we find out that Sam is probably putting his own team together. That's probably where, like, Shang-Chi and
that makes more sense.
The other people with superpowers are at. Hopefully he got Bruce.
Doctor Strange.
He seems like he's busy.
Yeah.
Thor.
Yeah.
Any of those would be nice. We gonna need the whole team.
Yeah.
As they're going over all this, there's a space issue that they're talking about, and this is the money shot. We see the ship flying in, and it's got the Fantastic Four logo on the side. And that's when they hit the music, and that's what they spoiled in the credits. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they had to give credit for the song, and so you see it in the credits right before the scene happens.
It's in the perfect spot for you to end up seeing it. It's on its own in the bottom right. So it's like, oh shit, would you look at that? Fuck.
Yeah. and if you're like me, like, that the soundtrack shit is last, so like you're gonna mess around on your phone and like glance over the screen, and then when you see like the soundtrack, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was just right there.
I leaned over to Caleb and I said, did they play the Fantastic Four theme during this movie?
I was like, nope. I guess they bounced her.
Yep.
They bounced her.
I love this scene. I think it is nice to finally get something like at the end of one of these movies to be excited about, because that's like one of the big things they've been fucking lacking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, like, that I think was very effective. Now we just need Fantastic Four to be good.
Yes.
To stick that landing.
Yes.
I will say I'm super fucking hyped. Like I was kind of hyped, sure. Like, a new Fantastic Four, maybe they'll do it great this time.
Yeah.
But now, like after watching the trailer again and then seeing this, I'm ready. Like, give me the fucking movie now.
Mm-hmm. I need, like, I think based on what I've seen of it, I think it's going to be. I think it's not likely that they fuck it up. For me, it's probably just going to be a matter of whether it's like in like the 7-ish category or like the 9-ish category. And I think a lot of that for me, unfortunately, is going to hinge on Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards. I'm hoping that the marketing is purposefully not giving us much of that because he just fucking kills it. But, like, if they're not giving us much of that because there isn't much, then we're going to have a huge fucking problem.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember talking about that a couple episodes ago. Like, we just haven't seen a whole lot of him in these trailers.
Yes, I want you to nail Sue. Mm-hmm. I want you to nail Johnny. I want you to nail Ben. Mm-hmm. Like, I need all those characters to be strong also. But, like, if you're going to fuck one up, it can't be Reed.
And also, we have to think about this, like, what's the dynamic going to be like between Pedro Pascal and RDJ? Because their dynamic needs to be absolutely on point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I personally think that they can do it. It has the potential to do it.
So my whole thing is like I know we're all fans here, but am I the only one not worried about Pedro Pascal?
I'm not trying to undercut Pedro because like the man kills it in fucking everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why would this change?
I think we're just gun shy.
Well, for me, like I'll be honest with you, like I love Pedro Pascal. He's not on my top list of maybe even top 5 to 10 that I would choose personally to be Reed Richards.
Neither was Heath Ledger and the Joker.
See, people love to use that example to like just say any casting is going to be just fine, like
I'm not saying that's always the case.
And
but
also, like, how many Heath Ledger's Jokers have you gotten since then?
How about this then? Robert Pattinson as Batman.
I said go for it because I've seen him in other shit. I've never even seen fucking Sparkly Vampire or whatever it was called.
Yeah, because like, why would you?
Yeah, why would I?
I'm just saying.
I understand your point, but it's like I think that Pedro Pascal is, again, he's an amazing actor. My thing of it is, I am worried that they chose him because of who he is and not because this is the best fit for Reed Richards.
I can see that. I can see being concerned about that.
That is my concern too.
I'm not going to go into this thinking that's bad, but I feel like because we've had so many Fantastic Four movies that just don't land right.
All of them. There's not a good one.
That I am just worried about this movie in entirety.
So my thing is, Pedro Pascal is a very talented actor. We've had very crappy Fantastic Fours. There's only one direction to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't tell them that. They might find a way.
In order for it to not be the best one, hands down, they would have to fuck it up.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really bad. Like, I feel like just the cast alone should be able to carry it beyond that, but I don't want to say that either because you guys haven't seen the 2015 one yet.
Listen, y'all broke me on a lot of stuff with my movie criticness. You're not going to break here. Like I have faith in this movie, and I'm actually very excited about it.
And we want you to be. We're not trying to take away your hype.
I'm not trying to take away your hype or your joy, and like I am also hyped for the movie. Yeah. But I have the same concern with RDJ as Dr. Doom. Actually, it's like no one is doubting that he's going to fucking kill it. Like if you've seen Oppenheimer, especially, it's just like some people might have got lulled into a false sense of like, okay, this man is not a top-notch actor because for a very long time, everything that he played that wasn't Tony Stark kind of fucking sucked. But, then
Sherlock Holmes was amazing.
I liked it.
Sherlock Holmes is amazing if you've never seen the Benedict Cumberbatch one. And then it is vastly fucking inferior to that version. Sorry.
I'm not disagreeing there, but at the same time, it's still not bad.
I have seen it, actually.
Oh, well, then you get to live in the bliss where RDJ is like an amazing Sherlock. But
anyway, we're not going to get into that.
I'll probably still enjoy the movie. Just
but the thing is, like, he had some not so great shit happen. Like, wasn't he in one of those?
He was in Doolittle.
Doolittle was terrible.
oh, was it bad? I never watched it.
And wasn't he in like one of those like knockoff Night of the Museum
Was he?
type movies or
Was he?
whatever?
Oh man.
As well. I think he was.
Man, that Doolittle one looked kind of cute too, though.
I think that movie, not my scoring, but I think like it's really like a 2.
The Metacritic's like a 2. Yeah, it's real bad. So yeah, I mean, but then in Oppenheimer, the man wins the fucking Oscar, and it was deserved. Like he was transformative in that. So like, it's just like Pedro Pascal. It's the exact same scenario. It's like, I'm not doubting that he's a great actor. He's not going to phone it in. There's no telling what the fuck he's making. But like, he's going to deliver. Pedro Pascal is going to deliver. But were they chosen because of their star power, or were they chosen because this is the best actor to play this character long term? And that is where my concern is.
I would love a combo.
Oh yeah, I mean,
In the perfect world, yeah. But
I've been hurt too many times.
yeah, like I think Joseph Quinn is that casting.
yeah.
For Johnny.
For Johnny, yeah.
Like, to me, I'm like, okay, this makes all the fucking sense in the world. I'm probably more hyped for that than any other aspect of the movie because I just really like him, and I think that's a perfect character for him.
So I've actually, for the most part, avoided watching the trailer until tonight. So like each one, I got the visual and then like seeing them for a second. And whenever I first saw them, I was like, oh man, that's different because I literally just fucking saw the other one. Yeah. But as like it went on, the like immediate shock of like, oh, different. I liked it. I liked the interactions a lot.
Yeah.
What do you do with Galactus?
Whenever that went through, I leaned over to James and I was like, I think he's supposed to be bigger than that.
Well, he has size manipulation, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he can grow and get smaller and all that shit.
I will say this: Galactus being that close to your planet is
not a good sign.
not good.
just bring him all your baked goods and see if it's enough to satiate his hunger.
Is he
He's not,
Beerus?
I'm about to say, he's not Lord Beerus. Like,
We don't know that.
Was
that's
that
true.
his boots?
Yeah,
Are
that's
we
his
for
little
sure?
feeties.
Okay.
his little feeties.
I mean, comparatively.
I'm gonna take credit for this. I called this shit a while back on the podcast. It's like, that basically Fantastic Four, like their Earth or their universe is probably gonna be doomed somehow. Ha ha ha. And yeah, thanks. And
I guess that one did more than mine did.
and that they're going to come to our Earth, which we now have confirmation of that is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think this also does not look great for the Fox universe. I think they probably about to get wiped the fuck out.
I'm kind of okay with that.
Tie that into the Fox universe?
Well, I think their universe is going to get wiped out because, for me, I think they have to play on the whole convergence thing. So it may not even be Galactus. Like, they may actually find some way to divert Galactus. Be like, oh, but bro, Mars looked delicious as fuck. Don't get me wrong. Got that paprika on it,
That paprika.
and maybe Galactus isn't what ends up fucking them. Like, maybe they divert Galactus or whatever, or like they play rock paper scissors with Silver Surfer and win, and then like a convergence happens, and they're like, oh, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So, do you think? I keep forgetting to ask this. When in the Fantastic Four movie do you guess them flying over to this Earth is going to take place?
It's got to be the very end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be hard to figure out like why else are they coming from a different universe.
Now that you say that, though, it would be fucking wild if it's like middle Act 2 and everything we have seen from the trailers is all like Act 1.
I saw that being a slight possibility, so I had to ask.
If they did that, I would lose my fucking mind. Like,
That would be kind of nuts, though.
How dark would this movie be?
Dark
for them to straight up lose and like reach like get in the fucking ship.
We need to leave.
we've done all we can do here. Especially because there's that shot of him being like, we will protect you.
We will protect you. Yeah, that is a quote.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking that because that felt kind of red flaggy to me.
Yeah, like
To
he
have
was just
that on
saying
its
it to
own
save
saying
face,
so
but
hard.
yeah,
That's true. I mean, I'm telling you, that would be absolutely brilliant if they did
I
that.
guess because I brought this up, I'll put it on whatever. I think it's not going to be at the end.
Ooh.
That would be brilliant.
You know what? I'm gonna ride that wave. Yeah, we'll do it.
Or
Am
what?
I super confident in that? Not necessarily, but because you guys are on the opposite direction, I'm going to go ahead and say it. That's my prediction.
Or my prediction is the ship lands, the Avengers.
The new Avengers?
Yeah, the new Avengers go check it out.
With a Z?
With a Z.
The ship opens up, and surprise, bitches, it's Galactus.
I thought you were going to say Doctor Doom, and then you just Galactus.
I thought for a second you were just going to say like Silver Surfer.
It was like, he steps out, and they're like, man, he's taking a long time stepping out, but he's just getting bigger. Oh, no.
So is this supposed to be the Silver Surfer that obviously it's a female Silver Surfer, but like is this supposed to be just this casting, or is it like the Silver Surfer we know from the comics?
The OG's wife.
Yeah, it's the OG Silver Surfer's wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like a race of beings?
They're not silver. No, they're from a planet called Zenla. I know you're interested in the home planet.
I'm actually vaguely interested. I would like to know these
They
things.
get their silverness from their surfboard.
Yeah, that I knew. Their powers and all that was from the surfboard. According to the other movie, anyway.
Her name is Shala Ball, and for all you out there who's like, she's from the comics, she is Silver Surfer in one comic book for about 4 pages. It's called Earth X. It's a tremendous book, and then she's killed. All right.
Damn.
Goddamn.
You think she's gonna last longer in this one?
I kind of hope she dies.
I
to hold credit for the comic.
I mean, I'll be honest, man. Like, the money is in Norton Rad, and the money is in the OG Silver Surfer.
I definitely agree with that. It is interesting to see the discourse on the internet with this shit, where people are like, blah 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 blah, this isn't comic accurate. Why y'all gender swapping this fucking character, blah blah blah, and then like the counter backlash where it's just like, well, actually this character's in the comics or whatever. But then there's like the actual people who have read the comics that aren't in either category. They're like, yes, this bitch is in the comics, but there's not actually. Yeah. It would be like, I mean, having like, I don't know, Steve Rogers' 8th cousin be Captain America or some shit.
Well, someone made
or John Walker.
Yeah. Someone made a great point online. They said, I don't know why people are so upset. She's Silver Surfer in the comic book. And someone else replied, yeah, well, Damian Wayne is Batman in the comic book. We don't want that shit either.
You goddamn right. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I guess she was Silver Surfer for about the amount of time that John Walker was Captain America.
For all about 2 seconds.
However, I really think Julia Garner is amazing. So, like, that's the other kind of side of this for me.
I think she'll do good. I would like to see some better shots of her as the Surfer, because she was looking a little Terminator 2-ish.
She really was.
Yeah.
They did just kind of randomly give her some big ass titties as well. And I was like,
I wasn't sure if those were hers or just
no,
okay.
They're not hers.
Okay.
She's fairly thin.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the model there is a representation of her at all.
So Galactus was like, I'm gonna add a little something extra.
Yeah, he's like, if you're gonna be my herald, there's terms and conditions.
So is the surfboard, is that from Galactus?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there only one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, dude bro died, and he was just like, hey, hold on to that.
What?
He's just like, hold on to the damn surfboard to her. I guess we don't know yet, but
that's true. Like, we don't know where Norrin is in this universe. Maybe he doesn't exist, or maybe they just switch roles in this universe. Instead
for whatever reason, she was chosen instead of him.
Yeah, she chose to sacrifice herself to save the home planet instead of him.
I think we may get the actual one in like Secret Wars, maybe.
Yeah.
There's some wild ass rumors out online. Like, I saw one where it was like, Chris Evans is going to play 5 different incarnations of Captain America
no fucking way,
in Doomsday. And I was like, I feel like if you are going to pull that trigger, then there's only a few things that you really can do with it. Hydra Cap is like the top of the list.
Mm-hmm.
Because Steve Rogers showing up and like what it would do to Sam for him to be fucking evil, like, and for Sam to have to actually like fight him. Not to mention like what it's gonna do to Sam's face if he has to fight him.
Because he has no super serum. Sorry, that the him stopping the fucking flagpole still irritates me.
All they had to do for that fucking scene is have him block it with his forearms, which are covered by the suit.
Yeah.
That's it. And it would have fixed that shit. But no, he just barehanded.
Or even use his wings. I don't know if they were broken at that scene or not, but
Take these broken wings and learn to fly again.
Oh my god.
no.
I dug it, buddy.
Thank you. I think we've reached the point of critical mass where it's maybe time to end this thing.
Yeah, we're just gonna bullshit.
We once again are further than the movie.
Oh, we do that regularly. As a matter of fact, was it our recent Fantastic Four movie review?
The 94 one was definitely like an hour over what the movie was.
Well, the one we just did, it was like someone commented 2 hours. I was like, oh, bud, you must be new.
You must be new here. First time?
Yeah, first time.
We're at crazy thing is with this movie, we're at like 3 hours and like we've stayed remarkably on topic.
Oh yeah. We really cared about talking about this thing.
Yeah. This movie is so good to me. Like to me, like if Marvel would just do this all the time, I'd be fine. Like not this exact thing, but
Yeah.
If they gave me something around this quality, like where we're gonna sit here and argue about whether it's a 7.5 or a 9,
Yeah.
and not whether it's a fucking 2 or a 6.
What a change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, how bad do you want to forget that you saw this movie? You know? Like, nobody was like, God, I really wish I hadn't seen this.
Oh, shit. Well, homies, that's going to be all for this one. It is currently 2 o'clock.
Oh, my God.
I have to work in the morning, asshole.
Me too.
Jesus, I didn't think it was that late.
I really didn't either.
Holy shit. So, with that being said, we are going to go ahead and wrap this up while I contemplate calling off work tomorrow.
I might do that, too. I actually don't think I can, but...
I don't think I can either.
I technically shouldn't, but fuck it. But that's going to be all for this one, homies. We will see you guys again very soon, and we're going to get about 35 minutes of sleep. But that's going to be all for now. But until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
I get to wake up after all these guys, and my name is Superhero Homie Caleb.
I get to wake up probably earlier than all these guys. I'm Superhero Homie Oz.
I'm going to be sleeping in, and I'm Superhero Homie Dylan.